Hello, welcome to the Wanderer. Damn it, Kean. Thank you for that. Welcome to the Wandering Isles. My name is Ken, and I am joined today by our intrepid band of adventurers. We have Richard here as Slate. We have Kean here as Dash. We have Rory here as Eos, and we have Busy here as Hatsu. I didn't forget. I definitely didn't forget. As Hatsu.
Hatsu?
Yeah, Hatsu. Who was it? We are still down John and Ryan, but make sure you share some love to Rhino on his Twitch channel, because he is doing some fantastic giveaways on the build up to Christmas, where he is dressed as Santa, playing video games, and of course bringing magic to kids, and we have to share our love for that.
And also that the beard is just magnificent now.
Are you just having beard envy now? Is that how it is?
Yep. That's kind of a sore subject, Ken. It's a bit rude of you to bring it up, to be honest.
Well, as far as I know, you have a pseudo beard that you can wear, like a faux beard. So, like, there is potential there, but I don't see that on stream.
That's been stolen by my daughter.
I would believe it.
Yeah. Dad, give me your beard.
When I jokingly said your daughter had a better beard than you, there you go. Now it's all
now she does.
Now she does, yeah.
Shout out Ivory Crow. Thank you for the beard again.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's jump into it. So I believe we have Rory today with the recap.
Indeed you do. It is I. The dog's barking in the background, apparently. Great timing.
It's my curse, man.
It is. Anywho, Eos is in her room alone. She's packing away her belongings. She sits on the floor. She thinks for a while. Moonbane elixir. A journey through snow. A town so scary and a fiery foe. My friends I met, my friends who I adore, some were thrown right onto the floor. Her eyes roll back, her eyes go blank. She looks up to the ceiling. She thinks for a moment. Eternal Minerva, weaver of the infinite sky. You cradle the cosmos in your wisdom. Do you see me? Do you hear me? I stand on the edge of shadow and light. A soul torn between the stars above and the earth below. This world, harsh and unyielding, shuns what I am. Yet your presence surrounds me. A soft whisper, holding my hand. Am I meant to walk this path? Cast adrift in rejection? Your presence surrounds me. I feel as I am calm. Is there purpose hidden in my pain? A thread of meaning woven into the flow of time. You know the secrets of what I am. Show me where I belong. Do I have place among those who scorn me? Or was I crafted for destiny beyond their gaze? I feel you all around me, Minerva. In the breath of the wind, in the hum of the stars. Do you hold me? Do you also shun me? I am a shard of shadow in your boundless light. Sometimes I feel lost, but let me be lost within your arms. Even in the vastness, you hold the smallest star. Teach me to see beyond what is broken, to find beauty in the fragments of my being. Guide me within this river of life. I felt as an outcast, but I am a force flowing towards something greater. Minerva, show me where I belong in this world.
As serendipitously, it's time to go. So your party begin to pack and get ready post-meditation. And you set out on the road, as far as I know, heading towards Broadadir. It is going to be a few days travel, similarly to about the same amount of distance pretty much as it was to get to Dagthorpe from the coastline. Again, you have a few days ahead of you. Some of that will be obviously cold camping nights, and there's going to be long journeys to walk. But on your way out, there is something that catches your eye. There is a stable. They rent, not sell, horses and dogs. Should you wish to get there faster, you can. Dogs go quickly enough, and they're very good at navigating the sharp turns and bends that may appear in front of you. Horses more so. They have a lot more speed to them. They're sturdier. It's entirely up to you. You do have a sled already, although it is bound with a lot of gear and dead bodies, but we will just assume there's a tarp over it, so nobody saw that part. It's up to you how you wish to proceed to get to the next leg of your journey, but this is you guys reaching the end of this town for now, as far as I know. So, what do you want to do?
Are we ready to go? Hatsu looks around.
Yes.
Can you unmute, I think?
Let's roll.
It's too quiet. It's too quiet.
That's okay. He's not talking.
When it's quiet, you know something's up.
Oh no, Dash contracted laryngitis. God damn it.
Next time you're away from the game, that's what I'm just going to say. He's there the entire time. He just can't talk. All right, want to try it again?
Stables, you said.
If
To
you want.
shreds, you say.
To shreds, you say.
Should we consider getting some bestial transportation?
Well, if you get the funds for it, we could do that.
Who am I going to rob in this town? Everyone's broke.
Then I guess we walk.
I guess so. Does it get warmer the further we go from here? Colder.
Surely we can put our funds together and take something.
And how much you guys got? I mean, I fresh out here.
I don't have pockets.
You don't have
I
pockets?
mean, long shot.
Why
but
not?
Maybe somebody here needs something delivered there, or maybe we can do something to earn part of our way over. Maybe we don't have to pay in full. It's worth a conversation at least.
Well,
You mean manual labor?
Especially if people are like blowing up into fireballs. I'm pretty sure the local postman isn't too keen on doing his job at the moment, so I'm pretty sure there's somebody somewhere that needs something. Surely.
Who's Shirley?
Don't call me Shirley.
Postman, obviously.
Postman Shirley.
You go in and there's a postman. Hi, my name's Shirley.
Remington did give me something within the bag that we might be able to sell. You think you could sell it here somewhere?
What are you selling?
And Hatsu shows you a diamond worth 50 gold.
Diamond. Ordinarily, I could sell this. As in, I've sold similar or worth more in Balbaroth, but I'm not sure if anyone's going to have the funds to buy it here.
That's what I'm asking. You had a fair share of investigating in the city before we arrived, right?
More like carousing, but yeah.
You think we could sell it here?
I don't think so, to be
Could
honest.
we perhaps barter with it?
That we could do, but
Hmm.
I'm still wary of the value of what we get back. Is a horse worth 50 gold to rent?
Oh,
I mean-
gosh, horses are priceless.
Why don't we start by asking how much it is? Because we can't really make any decisions until we know.
That's a good point.
Let's see what they offer, and then we'll see what we'll give.
Shall we go and ask then? Slate, you want to come?
Start walking in that direction.
Cool. We'll go to the stables.
When you go anyway, take this with you. And Hatsu would give 1 diamond to Slate.
I just look at Dash and then look around and just put away the diamond safely, and we'll head off.
Okay, cool.
As you're heading to the stable, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
before we go in, can you tell me what the stables looks like from the exterior? What I can glean from it. What I want to find out is what kind of establishment we're dealing with. Like, is it big? Is it small? From a commerce perspective, how busy is it? How rich is it? You know what I mean? So I understand what I'm walking into.
You kind of backed me out of a corner where I can't just say, have you seen a stable? But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so what we have is like, it's a good sized stable for this kind of area. So clearly it's something that does have revenue and income, but there's not really many people here. There's just one person kind of working the yard. And when I say the yard, I mean, there's a few dogs there and there's a few horses around, and it's minimalistically a few. It's not somewhere that you would come to with like a massive troop or a massive gathering to go. Like it's like these are work horses and they're good and they'll go at a good speed and a good pace, but it is what it is.
So
can I try to pet one of the dogs if they're near?
Immediately bites you. No, can you make an animal handling check for me, please? Might still bite you.
It might still bite me, but I gotta try. If there's any game, if it's TTRPG or RPG, if there's a dog in it, I'm trying to pet it.
Scritches are mandatory.
Absolutely, that is a 10.
He's fine with it. He's not like he's not thrilled about it, but he's not like upset about it either. So
you're a working boy, aren't you? Just pet it, Okay, you want to do your job. You go do your job, good boy.
And I start looking for whoever's working or whoever's visible. Just walk over and start a conversation. So I'm just gonna clear my throat to get their attention.
Yeah, the guy looks over towards you.
You okay?
Just like trying to just get Lenny in the lozenge. Yeah, this guy's name is Arnvid.
Arnvid?
Yeah. Ah, hello.
We're looking to travel to Broadadir, and I see that you have a stables, so we were just wondering what you might have on hand.
Ah, good pun. I like your style.
Like a stable hand, huh? That's clever.
We also measure horses by hands. Yes, well, are we all fired? Is that what just happened there?
I think so. Yeah, just cut the stream off. We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Yes, well, yeah, we have horses and dogs, and yeah, they're very well versed in the trip to Broadadir. They'll get you there as quickly as possible.
You mentioned the dogs. What are they? Sled dogs?
Yes, well versed sled dogs and good for the snow. And he ruffles one of their fur, and the fur is like it's kind of a husky-esque dog, because needs must in these areas, and you should not have huskies unless you're in the right temperament for them.
So I guess the question is price. Then I mean, what is it for horses? How many have you got? What is it for sleds and sled dogs? How many have you got?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how many you need. Obviously, we offer discounted rates depending on what it is that you require.
We have 6 individuals that need transport. 7.
And would you need a cart or?
No. Well, we have a makeshift sled that my friend here put together. We could probably lash that onto whatever.
Like looks over and sees the sled, and it's like overburdened with things. Are you sure that's gonna fit 6 people? It's a long journey.
Oh no, that's for our stuff. Otherwise, we're walking and we're pulling that behind us.
Well, it's a little bit different. So if you need just one draft horse or something, it's 5 silver pieces for 3 days. And that'll include the food that you are expected to feed it each day. Dogs are 1 silver piece each, but if you have a team of them, 4 or 6, it would just be 10 or 12.
So if we were to
actually now to think about it, which would be 5 or 6.
So would you have Slate? I have that right. That we have us, and those two, and the other one who isn't with us. That is 6 that we have at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
6,
okay.
I think.
Yeah. Yes, 6. Would you have 6 horses we could rent?
A horse each rather than pulling a sled?
Yes.
Yeah, we can just about muster 6 horses. Yeah. The way it works, you would take them to Broderdeer, and when you're on the outskirts, you just let them go. They'll come home.
Clever animals. So forgive me. That was how much silver per horse?
1 second. It is, well, it depends what you want. If you want a draft horse, 5 silver pieces. If you want a riding one, 7. One of our big ones here, war horse, that's 15 silver pieces.
So 7 silver for a riding horse.
You have 4 gold pieces for a pony. We have 1 pony.
4 gold pieces for a pony?
Silver pieces, sorry.
Oh, I think that was an expensive pony.
Ah, it's a good pony. You can talk. Yeah.
You can talk?
Well, I can now because it's 4 gold pieces apparently.
How is it
silver
with-
pieces. It's a good pony. It's near and dear to our hearts.
Okay, and that, right. Good to know. What do you think, Slate? Do we want just?
Are the roads
riding
between
horses?
here and Broderdeer travelable by, you mentioned a cart?
Roads.
Well, that
Just,
answer-
you mentioned a cart, that's why I ask.
The cart is a little similar to yours, and he points over, and there's like 2 different carts, not with wheels, but with skis at the bottom.
So, what would it be if we used this sled, and I pointed to the one we have, took everything off it, your sled, and whatever amount of horses, so it's 3 people on each, 2 sleds and 2 horses, 4 horses?
What type of horses?
You tell me. That's why we're here. You're the expert on horses.
Slate's had it up already.
I think we might be overcomplicating this. Let's just stick to one of those carts will transport 6 people, yes?
You should do, yes.
You do. Very well. And that is...
It's good for hiding
so
too. Like when you set up camp, it's easy to hide these ones. They can fold down a little bit.
Absolutely. 7 horses or 6 horses would draw attention, so we'll probably go with the cart idea. So that's
cart and 2
and
horses?
horse.
You
2
have
horses
2.
might be
You have
wise.
2 to bring with you. 2 sleds, carts, because you have Slate's one, right? And you have.
Yes.
When did this turn into an actual confusing transaction? You have Slate's one, and you have the one that you want to use for
Dash
6
is involved,
people.
of course. It got confusing.
So for the moment, I'm just going to say, how much for your cart with 2 horses?
Well, you can take the small cart that has 4 people, and then 2 people can sit on the horses, and you can just change it around. That would be cheaper. And that would mean that someone can actually steer the other cart, and the horse doesn't just come back here after an hour with your
Yes,
cart and stuff.
That's smart. Okay, give us a price for that, please.
Well, I can work it out. So 2 draft horses, that would be 10 silver pieces, and the cart would also be 10 silver pieces, but I can bring it down to 15 silver pieces.
15 silver for the lot. Okay, wonderful.
I need an address and some details in case you kill my horses.
We're under the care of Orla Voltime here.
Oh, Orla. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to screw her over. She'll find you anywhere you go. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. She is a terrifying woman. Very impressive.
Yeah.
what are the chances that the place is small enough that the stable hand was in the inn during the hours of playing and dancing and drinking and all of that at some point?
Roll a d20, 10 and above he was. It's just the best way for me to do that.
Fair.
I saw it roll, but I didn't see the number.
14.
14, okay. Oh, I can't see the number there. Yeah. Did you just roll to yourself there?
Didn't think so, but obviously
Yeah,
I did.
I
It says
see.
public roll. It says public
okay.
roll.
Interesting. I'm not sure what's happening there. Don't worry about it.
So what I'd like to do is I would like to take out my instrument and sort of remind him who I am, and I'm going to convince him that what I did for their business in terms of upping the sales and so on and so forth, I could do for his business, because we are due to come back here. So A, in the locality, but B, in Broadadir, I can send customers this way. And then I'm going to say to him, you know, as coming from Penzance and knowing the cold like I do, we have a lot of prepared wood, etc., that would save you a lot of heartache. You got to keep these horses warm yourself. It's a dirty job. You know what I mean? Can I give you some of this to, you know, help offset that cold? Because I know what it's like after mucking out the stables, etc. Your hands would be freezing, etc. And just try and make him feel great. And say, is there anything he could do on the price? And sort of, you know, try and tell him, I understand your hardship, but also, you know, I can help your business.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to do a roll on top of this. You can have your persuasion or your deception. That's fine. But I'm actually going to give you an opportunity to use performance as well for this if you prefer, because this is based on your previous performance and you're actually building upon that performance for merit. And so I would say that if you're doing performance, I would almost give you advantage as well based on what you did last week, because I was very happy with that. You did a lot of work last week to build that repertoire.
Perfect.
So I think that's
so what I will do is I will start to play a tune on the lute that I played of the evening to bring his memory back to it, and I will go for performance if I can. So is that normal? Did you say advantage?
you have an advantage if you're doing performance, or if you're doing persuasion or
definitely
deception,
will
it's
do
just
that.
standard. Yeah.
19 for a 26.
19. Okay. 26 is nuts. Yeah, he'll bring it down to 10 gold and say that you guys have the cart for free, but please do send it back. But if you're going to go out and preach the good word of this, it's great. And so they'll actually upgrade your cart to the 6-person cart as well. And say, look, figure it out whichever way you want to go, but at least you'll have the bandwidth and space to leg room. But it has their brand on the side, so you're basically advertising from as you go as well. So.
I was just about to ask, is there anything on it? Because I was going to carve into it if it wasn't. So yeah, perfect.
Perfect, yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, yeah, that's perfect. They'll do that, but just send the cart back is what they ask. And the horses. You can keep your own cart, obviously.
So I'm just going to walk over to Dash and be like, how much money do we have?
So it's 10 silver.
I
Just
have
one
8
gold.
electrum. I have 8 electrum and 1 silver on me.
Oh, actually, it's one gold. It's 1 electrum, I think. Not because 10 to 10 to 10 to 10.
Okay, 1 electrum. So yeah, I can give him. I'll hand over an electrum then.
No worries.
Thank you very
smart
much, Arnvid. And I'll shake his hand, a good hearty handshake.
Yeah, it gives you a good hearty handshake too. It's kind of an old gentleman, nice bushy beard and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to do a minor illusion in the back of a cart, and it's going to be basically loads of people, like from the tavern, being like, "Yeah!" in the back of the cart. You know what I mean?
Question: Can I tell that Slate is about to cast a spell?
probably. I'm not sure.
I'm not hiding it.
Okay.
I am going to try to give him a very hard look and shake of the head, like, "Don't fucking do that."
I'll leave it up to Richard if he takes that or not.
Yeah, I will take that. I will take that nudge. But then I will say to him instead, having been caught, about to do that and reminded, I will turn to him and start describing, but it won't be anywhere near as good as the illusion I had in my head. And I'm going to be like, there's going to be people, they're going to love it, the carts are going to be full, you'll see. And I'm going to jump into the carts.
Yeah, you saw what it was like last night, and I just kind of put my arm around him and start walking him back kind of towards the stable and throw a look over Slate like, you fucker.
So Dash just gave Slate disadvantage on description. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your assistance, and we'll be sure to send as much business your way as we can possibly.
Thank you so much. What's your name?
What's up? Hang on, I need to think about that. Oh yeah, my name is Finn. Finn Calder.
Okay. Nice. Well, thank you, Mr. Calder. We'll make sure to let people know about your good name too, for whatever it is that you do. Thank you.
Just traveling merchant. No need, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're traveling. Those are your goods on the other cart?
No, it's kind of you call it a recon mission, I guess, to Broadeer, just to see what's there for sale that I can bring back.
Mercenary? I thought you said merchant. That's my mistake.
No, recon mission for merchant goods. See what is possible to
I get
purchase from Broadeer to sell it in Palborough.
After my almost slip up, I'm going to walk over to Dash, put my arm around him and say, we're going to look for new stock in Broadeer, and just walk him over to the cart.
Take care, Arnvid. How did we nearly fuck that up?
I'm just going to check the back of the cart, make sure the food that was agreed for the animals, etc., is there, everything we need.
He's throwing it into the back of the cart. Yeah, there's like a section. So you have your seats that are 3 and 3, like 2 benches basically that are facing each other. And then in the back is like kind of this box, and in the box is the feed for 3 days, yeah.
And I'm just going to go over, like I said, and take off a bit of that wood that we chopped, etc., and give it to him so he can warm his hands and all the rest after his hard day's work. Wave to him, see you later. And then bring everything over towards the guys and start waving as we come up with the horse and cart, etc.
Yeah, that makes sense. You, instead of doing this in like a 3 to 4 day walk, are about to do this in 2 days, so there's 1 rest required. You'll be there by the end of the 2nd day. There will be 1 rest required as opposed to the 2 to 3, depending on how you handle it. That initially would have been done. That's assuming you don't get sidetracked, which, you know, D&D probably will. But under the assumption of a clean journey, that's where we're at.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll go into the tavern, I suppose, into our party members and be yes, we got horses.
Oh? What kind of horses?
Draft horses. You know, sturdy, sled, cart drawing, strong.
What's their names?
Oh shit, I didn't get their names.
Dash, how are we supposed to call them? Horse
to
1,
be
horse
honest,
2?
These ones are just... That'll work.
Horse D and horse E.
Horse E. Yeah,
Good job, though.
I could go back and ask, but Slate almost cast a spell over there, so I figure probably best not to go back.
Yeah, don't go back.
Yep. But yeah, I thought you might enjoy
horses, for sure.
taking the lead on the horses.
He's not wrong. I did almost do that, but he also tried to tell them that we were mercenaries, so that was also taking a twist.
Slip of the tongue, I meant merchant.
Very different things.
Yes, I know. But honestly, I don't think he cares that much. He got his money, and we promised to send business his way. So if anyone asks where the horses came from, they came from Arnvid in Dagthorpe.
And it says it on the side of the cart.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to look at the horses.
Before
Anyone
you go
else
outside, yes,
right?
it's daytime, so just
cover up.
Yeah. I'll take out the disguise kit again. I've offered it before. I can, cover you up a bit.
I'll think about it. I am a... No, wait, listen. Who else can ride a horse here?
Yes.
I mean, I'm
You grew up in Palperoth, and you, of course, horses are second nature.
Yeah, but a bit hard on the old family jewels.
Well, then you should go first.
To make saddles.
I was going to say that you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Never had any teachers, such just kind of sit on it and just go.
Ayami would nod as well. She definitely would have horse training of some nature as well. Although hers is more like combat training than just riding horses. But yeah,
Hanging upside down with the bow, just
some cool shit. Sure.
yeah.
Okay. When do you guys want to? Well, I'll have to check out the horses first. But when do you want to leave?
ASAP, I guess.
Yeah, or as soon as possible.
Okay. I'm gonna dress up.
Well, my only worry is that we're quite an easy target with a huge sleigh, right?
Advertising.
Just to clarify, DM, we got 2 horses and the big cart. So 1 horse for the big cart and 1 horse for our sleigh. That's where we're at.
Yeah, you got a pretty big horse for the cart.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
So I just articulate exactly that to Hatsu and say, look, it makes sense if we're traveling merchants or we're looking to see what's up there. It's a convoy of sorts. It wouldn't be unusual in places like this.
Okay. All right.
Just for the chat, draft horses are these big chonking, legit, like they're huge horses, big muscly things. Oxen in the way they look.
Sometimes seen around Christmas on particular adverts for alcohol.
Yes. Yes.
Those are Clydesdales, I think. But yeah.
Similar kind.
Are Clydesdales a draft horse? No, we're walking too far away.
We're not too far away. Yeah.
Yeah, so... Right, so you guys are basically getting in and ready to go, right?
I'll hitch up the horse to the sled that we already had, and I'll opt to go on that one. But I'm going to ask at least one other person to come with me, because if there's any difficulty with handling the horse or any of the stuff, I'm going to need someone else's help. So at least someone, even if it's shifts or taking turns or something, somebody else should travel on that with me, for at least for now. We can switch it up later. Doesn't matter who it is, whoever opts for it.
You also prefer to take the quote-unquote cargo horse, and she's going to use animal handling to see how spooked the horse is with her presence.
Sure. So there's 2 things, Eos, that you'll figure out from this. One, as you're approaching the horse, you can see in the back... Okay, well, we'll deal with that in a second.
Yeah.
But you... Okay, I'll change it around because then that one will actually help me here. So you go to see if the horse is spooked, and you tap it on the back, and therefore you spook it. It, like, for just whatever reason, just for the moment, it passed you, because Ducky isn't usually, like, spooked by you touching it from behind. Like, when you, like, you don't have to give it a fright. But strange horses and horses that don't know you, of course, will get a fright. And it kicks you, and you fall back into the snow. And you, like, look up, and you're like, oh, right, that's a thing, you know?
Yeah.
You'll take just 1 bludgeoning from that. That's not too crazy.
Cool.
But you stand up and you brush yourself off, and you see at the back of the cart where the food is, and it says 2 names. One is Golden Veil and one is Storm Song, and you get the impression that is for each of the horses. One bag is significantly bigger than the other. Storm Song is the bigger of the 2 bags. You guess that's for the bigger of the 2 horses. So
Perfecto. Oh yeah, I did the HP.
cool. As a spellcaster, I can assume you're almost dead.
So you're a Storm Song. Okay.
I'll go and help Eos up. You know horses generally get spooked if you approach them from behind, right?
We'll talk about how I met Ducky another time.
Right. Yeah, let them see you coming.
So, are you taking... Well... Ayame, Lissa, taking Golden Veil?
Sure. I wouldn't mind. Ayami just nods, like she's more like introvert in nature when she's speaking, but she nods that she can also take it. She doesn't mind, or if one of you wants to, you can.
Which one is Slate taken?
You'll be taking this in shifts, much like when you're doing a watch anyway.
Okay, cool.
So you would watch Hatsu walk into the cart, and he kind of looks around and he doesn't feel that comfortable in it, and he looks toward the hilt of his sword and the card, and he looks around. And you see him taking off his bow, and he's holding the bow in like a very specific way, just as he would offer it to somebody. And you see that his aura becomes a little blackish, as it has been before. And he will proceed kind of a ritual with the bow to feel more comfortable with it. And he would sit down on the outer outer side, and he would have his bow ready just in case something would go
primed and ready for action.
wrong.
Tatsu, might I ask, are you concerned about a lack of cover, or not sure which direction attacks may come from? I'm trying to read what's going on here.
Since what we've learned yesterday, since the things we have unveiled so far, I'm a little concerned that such a big card is also a very big target, and since I have to be close to be most effective, and I can't maneuver this card that good as a horse, I'm just readying a plan B.
Okay, well, since this is a 6-person cart, 2 will be taking horses, or potentially 3, so you could sit yourself at the front of the cart with your back to the horse, and then you have a good view of kind of 180 degrees of our back, and whoever is driving the horse has 180 degrees to their front, so we're fully covered that way, if that makes you feel any better.
That's what I'm doing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get in
Any
the cart and
further?
sit on the parallel opposite side to Hatsu, so she has cover from the other side. And so her and Hatsu have kind of like a 180 on each side vision, so they can see basically everywhere.
I gather this should get us there much quicker than walking, so 1 night of rest and exposure is better than 2, 3, I guess.
I'm gonna walk over to Hatsu and walk quite close to him and do that thing where you have money in your hand and you palm it to somebody. I'm gonna do like that with the diamond. So I'm not trying to be as such stealthily. He knows what I'm doing immediately, but I'm just not being like, "Hey, everybody around, we have a diamond. I'm just gonna give it to this guy," So I just go over and give it back, and I just say, "Thanks for that, but we didn't need it this time."
I want you both to make a sleight of hand check.
Whoa, wait a second. The moment he does that, he would normally you do like a brief hand over hand thing, right? But he would grab your hand and he would put his other hand on top.
Okay.
And he would whisper in your ear and say, "Well, just in case we get split up or something, I think you should keep it."
And then I'm going to say, "Power move. I like it." Put my hand on top of his, and then just sit back on.
Can Slate generate more arms? Could he put a third hand in as well? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. With that in mind, then, you guys start boarding. Eos and I think Lyssa are going to take the first go. So for Eos, I'm going to need an animal handling check. And same for Lyssa, who is not.
Can I just kind of...
That's much better.
What?
Just general check. How does Eos look? Like Dash is trying to, from an outsider's perspective, does the party as a whole, do they look magical or sus?
Oh, do they look sus? Okay, sorry.
Yeah. If Dash is going to stand back and just kind of try to analyze how will this look to outsiders.
Forgive me if I'm speaking over my boundaries here, Rory, on this one, but I would imagine that Eos looks a little bit almost like at night Arabian horse rider, the robes and everything, the hood and everything, the whole vibe, like the cloak, and when you see those like that kind of aesthetic, that's what I'm talking about. It's all dark, so it's very hard to see through. Obviously you guys are going in the daylight, but you're going in the daylight quite far away from everybody else unless you happen to just cross paths with somebody. There isn't a set road, but there are. Yeah, perfect. So that was okay, perfect. Because I was a little
You've
bit,
seen the reference images, like, so
yeah. So like, I didn't want to overstep though. I don't want to like design your character for you either. So that's definitely your comfort zone.
That's why we have images.
With that in mind, like realistically, there are pathways that have been etched out by just multiple people walking on them for years and years and years that you can follow. There's no set road that'll lead you from A to B, but there are definitely pathways that you can choose to follow and might make it a bit quicker and easier and stuff. But you're more inclined to meet people on those pathways. So if you choose to do so, is up to you.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. If we meet people on the road, will we just look like a group of traveling merchants?
Right.
Or mercenaries.
Mercs.
Mercs?
Either way, having protection makes sense, even if we were merchants. So the likes of Hatsu makes perfect sense, regardless of what our cargo is, regardless of who we are. Because of where we are, it makes sense.
I think your main concern is primarily Eos, because if she gets spotted in her natural form or natural state, that'll be just a flare. Like that's all it is. The rest of you are more like naturally able to feel. Like parties travel, groups travel in these lands. You're not the only ones. So like, there are people who move around, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're hiding something. Because you're so open and exposed, it might actually imply the opposite. So
to help with this, the wagon itself, if you think about the Wild West, a lot of them had like a spine over the top where you could put a tarp which can come on and off. I presume that would not be unusual in a climate like this where there's snow and rain and stuff. Having a tarp that can go on and off would make sense. So that would add some additional, at least from prying eyes from a distance. Obviously, if anybody comes up or wants to look in, that's a different thing. But at least, there might be a modicum of protection involved in that. And I'll just pass that on to the guys to say it's up to yourselves, up or down. I'm on the sled anyway, so it makes no difference to me.
I think we're good. Not trying too hard to hide helps us not look suspicious. Yeah, and as you said, Slate, it's a group of traveling merchants with our guard.
Are you happy that I've connected up the horse, or do you want me to do an animal handling check to have the horse?
I'll just say you guys managed to get that done. Yeah, otherwise we're going to spend the next hour here trying to just get the nuances of it. So I'll say we'll breeze past it and say it was a little bit difficult, but you got it. Yeah. Everything is fine. Everything's ready to go. So I believe the animal handling from Eos and Lissa. So with that in mind, it would be, let's see. So Eos, you got 11, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Lissa got a 9, which isn't the best either. There you go. That means as you guys get on the horses and everyone sits down in the cart and stuff, it is quite an abrupt start. It goes from like 0 to 60 rapid fast. These guys are used to this journey, so unlike Eos, you're more accustomed to Ducky being like has a process. It likes to get kind of in the mood, like slow walking first, maybe then up to a canter, and then up to a trot and canter. Sorry, the other way. And so it's like a whole thing like that. And so this horse is not like that. This goes into full gallop with like immediately. Like both of them just go. And with that in mind, you all just bust forward in the cart, and like you're like as it like heads off, and then the two of them just running as it goes further and further. You guys are like all the time used setting all of this up is already made up for in the first 15 minutes of being on these horses as you gallop through the snow. What do you guys want to do?
At that, Eos will grasp the rails more tightly than usual. She squats down more firmly. She focuses. She's trying to stay on this draft horse.
Fair.
Yeah.
Would I be correct in assuming that after the initial jolt, it kind of like it settles down, so it's fast
It
but
smooths out
smooth
after a while.
as you're-
Yeah.
as you're going. Okay, perfect. So what I would like to do then is I'm going to just kind of sit back and take out my journal, and I'm going to try to draw from memory a couple things: the garb that the fiery creature person was wearing prior to turning into the magma creature, whatever it was. I'm trying to draw the creature as I remember it, and I'm also going to try and sketch the situation with the Madriana, the portal, the people in the Madriana. I'm going to try and sketch those
So
three
it's not
things
too
in my
difficult. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Hatsu would basically look like a turret. Scouting the whole fucking area.
You pass like a pretty sparse wasteland of areas, but what does start to happen is that the further you go, so the first hours, 2 hours, what you'll notice is that the trees start to regrow more and more the further in you go, until eventually you get to a point where the trees are more populated. It's an extreme kind of trip that you have going ahead of you. The horses are like flat out. You're figuring out that this journey may have been longer than you would have previously anticipated even, but these horses are making it significantly quicker and easier. Tell me a little bit about how you're doing this. Are you guys on the path, off the path? What's up?
I would presume we're kind of letting the horses lead on a path. Would I be correct, gentlemen?
Yos is
That'd
following
be my vote.
your cart.
Yeah, especially if they know the road and we've already picking up speed and they're doing their thing. They know where they're going, and the plan is they know their way back. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's that whole, the shortcut and it would just be the way scenario. So I think we just let the horses bring us.
Cool. With that in mind, you do that. So the horses lead the way. They start absolutely going nuts. They gallop through this like pathway, snow just passing you guys, like whipping past. For those of you who are facing with your backs to the horse, you guys are okay. You've got your hoods up and stuff like that. Those of you who are facing forward, you're like getting just like pelted with snow. Like it's pretty crazy, but it's a nice thing too. It's not like it's not like painful. It's just unpleasant. I'm sure a lot of people who've gone skiing and stuff might also know that experience.
I'll do that usual thing that I said
into my forehead before.
about the one eye covered hood up thing that we talked about before to stop snow blindness.
Just dash just like this. Hatsu, what kind of horses do they have in Saganotoshi?
Oh, they look very different. We don't usually have them as much as workhorses. These look like fucking workhorses.
Yeah, you guys have more war horses than anything. You guys have like your horses would be more militaresque than farm horses or travel horses. Like you guys are built for defense. Yeah.
It's like there was a big war horse at the stable. It's I can only imagine what it must be like to be the enemy and to see 10, 20, 100 of those charging at your lines.
Well, we also are very mindful with the horses. So they also get protection, and we wouldn't ride them into enemy lines. Normally we crush them from the side.
I like that. I think you can tell a lot about people about how they treat animals.
You can also tell a lot about people, how they treat people.
This is true, but animals are intuitive. I think especially horses and dogs, I think.
I think you eat them
That's
animals
true.
as well, right?
Don't eat horses or dogs. Cows and chickens.
So there's a difference.
Sometimes deer.
Gotcha.
There's a difference, but honestly, Hatsu, I never thought about it until you said it just this moment.
I mean, To be fair, I kill plants as well.
Do you think
We have to
plants
kill
feel?
something to survive. Oh, they do. They also talk. You just can't hear it.
You're funny, Hatsu.
Oh, that wasn't a joke.
What, seriously?
Yeah, there's a lot of studies.
Ayami nods as well. Yes, we learn about this in school. You don't?
No. If you told me that like 6 months ago, I would have said, no way, I don't believe it, but I've seen enough in the last few months to kind of, I guess. So like, is there people out there who just like talk to plants?
Well, they
Can
talk
animals
more
talk?
like our bodies talk subconsciously to each other. Have you ever heard the term, I can't smell that person?
No.
Well, how it works is if you find someone attractive, your body decides within a few seconds if you like that person or not. That is due to hormones. Plants have something similar. They let out some, how would I say, some odor to talk to plants around them in case they get attacked or there's a fire or something the like. They also are all connected to the mycelium. These mushrooms help them to talk to each other and exchange minerals and stuff. So I wouldn't say plants don't feel or plants are not intelligent. They're just different to how we do it.
Dash starts having an existential crisis.
Ash considers druid for a while.
Well, in the end of the day, we all killers, I guess.
I guess so. Was this like the stuff that Wesleyan used to talk about?
Oh, that goes deeper. I think he could actually talk to plants.
No, like talk.
Didn't you recognize that he talked a lot different than we would talk?
I thought it was similar to like the phrases that you use. Like you have a greeting phrase, and there's one.
Imagine
I
it
think
like
Banko's like arigato. I think I learned that from you.
you have seen Slate, how his looks change depending on his emotions, right?
Yes.
Imagine plants could send you a smell that would let you know how they feel.
That would be pretty cool. Like,
You just have to learn what the smell means, I guess.
there's so much I feel like I've missed out on living in Balbaroth. So much I could have learned.
Oh, there's
So
so much to
that's-
learn in these worlds.
So, how about animals? Could I talk to a dog?
Oh, there's
Or a
ways
squirrel?
to talk to a dog. There's ways to talk
Chicken
to
just sits up
everything.
on the cart and like tilts its head.
Chicken, do you understand when we're talking to you?
Just sits back down.
Might be the wrong accent.
I guess you're gonna figure it out if you're really interested and take it seriously.
I'm interested, but is that something that people can learn, or is it something you're born with? Like Eos
Some
gets her
things you
spells from a
can.
book, right? But like the few times Wesleyan did something, it
Yeah.
seemed to be instinct.
You're talking about the easy way. The easy way might be through magic, but I'm not proficient on that topic. But if you spend enough time with animals, you can learn how they communicate. The noises that they make are usually alerting things,
There's
for the lack of a proper word. But the most they talk is about their body language. It's not that hard to learn, I think.
sometimes in Palperoth, the street cats would give you an indication of, something's coming around the corner or down the alleyway, because they would skitter along the drains, or you'd hear them mewling if there was something that scared them. So you'd occasionally learn to take those signs as, time to move from wherever we are. Is it similar to that?
Well, it's kind of similar, but it has way more depth. It's just not... Sometimes it's not only a sound. Sometimes it's a sound and the way the ears would behave. If they are like straight up front, are they in the back? Look at these horses. And you would see like the horse that drags the cart. As Hatsu is talking, one ear would be faced towards the front, and one ear would be like a little bit tilted towards the back because it tries to hear what's going on behind it. It's on you how you learn to interpret these small things.
So much more to learn. I guess it never stops, really.
This is the way.
Well, if you
This is
stop trying to learn, what's the purpose of anything? You must always be open to knowledge.
I agree. Who knows what doors it can open?
The right ones.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes.
Hatsu goes back into turret mode.
So does Ayame. She looks out again and she slowly inspects what's happening. A few hours pass. Like the snow is not giving up, but at this point, Eos and Lissa would be getting kind of tired. You'd be about 4 hours into it by now.
She's trying not to nod off. Closes her eyes, they close for a bit too long. Picks back up.
Yes.
Go back to sleep, Dash.
I wasn't asleep. Daytime. You need a
Why are
break?
you quiet?
Because there's snow in my mouth. Do you need a break?
Lissa, do you need a break?
You just look over at Lissa and she's just frozen and she just looks across and she's like,
I think your bride to be needs a break, Dash.
Right.
The horse stops pretty
Sure.
quickly on that.
Good boy.
I'm happy to take the reins for somebody as well.
Lissa gets off the horse, but like instead of just elegantly lifting a leg across, it's like completely stiff, and she stretches it up and across and down, and she slides off the horse, and she like
I'll
waddles.
go help her off.
Sure. she appreciates it. She waddles towards the cart, and then she just like kind of limps up, and then sits down.
Should I ask Eos for some tea for you?
She shakily nods her head. Her teeth are chattering too loud for her to talk.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Could you make some tea for Lissa? I think she's a little bit frozen solid.
Of course. One thing
Thank
first. And Eos is massaging the neck of the horse. She's using a little bit of burning hands to get some heat into the horse. And she heads over and starts making tea for everybody.
Yay.
Broader would have a decent supply of like peppermint and stuff for tea as well. Yes. So if you're looking for tea and replenishing that stock, this is the place to do it. This is probably one of the biggest places. This is the biggest place on this island. So
might have to borrow some money from someone, but yes.
You make a good portion for everyone, and it really helps heat everybody up. Anyone who wants it, of course. I'm not forcing it upon anyone.
Take the damn tea.
But it is, yeah, no, it is a nice pause.
I'm just going to, while we're pausing and drinking the tea, I'm just going to take the white hand card out and just kind of just peruse it, see if there's anything I might have missed the night before.
Yeah, you take out the card. You can make another investigation check if you want.
Surely will. That is a 14 for a 15.
14 for 15.
That's math.
15. The card is like really high quality, and like that in itself says volumes, because like this kind of quality has not been seen in anything, including the buildings and the structures that you've seen so far, the location that you're at. It doesn't make sense. So this is high quality, so it's obviously something that's meant to survive and it's important. It probably has serious value.
Like the card itself?
Yeah.
Impressive. Very nice. There's a whole American Psycho potential here.
Who's taking the next go? This will be the last one until you need to take your rest.
I'll do the one with the sled.
Supplies, does it?
Yeah.
Hatsu would
I'll take
assist
the
with the last.
Apologies, Hatsu. I thought I would have assumed you'd like to remain in turret mode, but
I don't know what it is about you, but everything sounds sarcastic when you say it.
really, it's not intentional.
Well, just the way you said that made it sound like Hatsu can't do his job from atop a horse. Are you suggesting that Hatsu can't do what he set out to do? She says that really loud.
No, I just thought it would be.
Hatsu looks over. He tilts his head a little bit.
Surely he'd have a better view
places-
from up on the horse.
On the side of the cart, he would kind of prepare like a small log you would burn on a campfire.
Yeah.
He places it there. He gets on the horse. He starts riding. After like 50 feet, he stands up the horse. He rides as while standing on the horse, and he attempts to shoot the log.
That's all right. There's a few things going on here. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, there's three factors here. So I need animal handling, and you can have athletics or acrobatics for the check itself, and then your actual attack roll with your bow.
Animal handling. A 6, which is not good. Acrobatics.
You have inspiration, maybe.
Which is 19. And then the actual hit itself, you said?
Yeah, with the bow.
Okay, I would re-roll the animal handling for my inspiration.
Yeah, so you can mark off your inspiration and do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For 22. And then he would
22 is way better.
shoot at it for a 17.
So you stand up on the back of this horse, and you, like, the first thing you do is, like, as you're about to stand up, you lean against the horse, and you just sort of comb your finger through the mane, and you let it know that it's safe and that everything's going to be okay, and the horse continues to run. You stand up, you pull back on the string, and just then the horse kind of jumps, but you manage to catch yourself on it. You let go, and straight through the log, which bounces in and lands on Dash's lap.
I think he's more than capable.
Did we bring Eos and Slate? I think they're still back there.
I guess we get them.
5 minutes later, Eos will come back. Eos is just packing up her tea stuff. Slate's just there with the other cart.
I would have taken a moment to give the horse something to eat. Not much, because I know there's a long road ahead. I don't want the horse to get sick. But 4 hours is a long road, having travelled already. So little top up of food and water, and then just brushing it down and that type of stuff. And then get organised and head off.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, Goldenvale is like kind of, you start feeding Goldenvale and it like does this little dance thing with its front hooves. The other one just like almost grabs the bag off you and starts just chewing through it. Stormsong. Yeah.
Eos will be propped up her back against like the back of the cart, settling in for a nice little nap.
As you guys head off again on the next leg of the journey, you hear a few different things as you're going. So, Eos, first of all, we shall start with you.
What would you like me to do?
So, as you take a nap,
I want to hear boss music.
that's not boss music. That's just music that's epic and bossy. As you take your nap, there's just one thing that happens before you wake up, and for those around you, it's maybe 6 or 7 seconds. You suddenly startlingly jump up as you hear,
"Find him."
you just jolt upright.
It was just Eos that heard it, right?
She heard it, but she also made that noise, so.
Eos, did you have that dream where you're kind of like falling?
Yes.
Hate when that happens. It's okay, it's probably just the cart. Don't worry about it. I got your back.
No, I won't worry.
As you continue on the journey, there's, for all of you, it's just chill. It's pretty easygoing. But Eos, there's this constant feeling of being watched. It's constant, man. Slate, as you sit there, you're not so much drawn to it as subconsciously moving through pages in a book in your backpack. And as you're on the cart, the surrounding starts to change for you as well. With everything that's going on, it's a little bit strange, but the land itself, the snow, you hear the horse's hooves. It's been monotonous for like 4.5 hours now. You've heard them. You know what that sound is like. But it almost starts to change from the crunch of snow to a different coarse feeling as sand begins to emerge beneath their feet. And you look around, and you're no longer looking at a barren wasteland of ice. You're looking at a barren wasteland of a desert. And you look up at the sun, and it is like burning you, like it is really hot. You look around, and your group is still on the cart, but they seem to take no notice. You look out into the distance of where the cart is going from, and it seems to be the large city of Palperoth, or the metropolis itself. as it gets smaller and smaller, and you look towards where you're going to, and you're approaching this sort of dock that appears to be pretty far away from it. For some reason, the name hits you. It strikes you. Rirtes. Suddenly you're being taken out of the cart by your allies. You're in cuffs, and they're leading you towards a ship. It's no longer your allies. You look back to see, instead of Eos, stands someone in full, heavy uniform, dark, with a helmet. You look back towards Dash, who is also wearing the same uniform, and it's no longer Dash's face on that body. You board the ship, and you have a looming, sinking feeling in your heart that you know where you're going. Instinctively, you let go of the book, and as if pulled from a dream and awakened, much like Eos was just moments before, you're back on the cart, the sounds are correct, the people are correct, and nobody seems to have noticed anything.
You know that feeling when you've just woken up, your alarm's gone off, you're lying in bed, and you're like, okay, I have to get up. And then for a couple of seconds, you start thinking about something, and then it dawns on you that you're starting to dream, and if you don't get up. So like that, I'm sitting there, and then I start feeling the heat of the sun, and I start going through the motions, and then my brain says, you're riding a horse right now. And then I come out of it, and I'm like, whoa, I'm going to fall off.
You look down, and you're surprised to see that, like, you nearly fall off. Is that what you said? You nearly fell off, right? You didn't just bail, right?
No.
Yeah, just make sure I didn't just gloss over that entirely. You look down to see that you have your backpack in front of you instead of behind you, and you were thumbing through the pages kind of mindlessly beyond your control. It was as if something was gripping your subconscious rather than your conscious.
So I'm going to, as best I can while maintaining control of the horse, but considering they know where they're going and they're doing what they're doing, I'm going to seal up the bag and just put it close to me, but just make sure it's properly closed, sealed.
Yeah. The sun begins to get a little low as the 4th hour of the second half dawns. Or sets. The snow is coming down really hard. It's getting dark, and this is sort of technically your halfway mark. Do you guys want to push through this, or would you prefer to take a break?
Getting kind of rough, guys.
My question is, how are the horses faring? Because we may be able to push through, but if it's in danger of running the horses to death, or
we should give the horses a rest for sure.
Mm-hmm. It would be them who suffers for it, not you, for sure. They would be the ones getting exhaustion.
Yeah, remember these are rentals.
Should be fed, right?
Yeah,
and us.
Do we have blankets for the horses?
Well, there's a rule, Mr. Dash. Horses first.
Oh, always the horses first. They're the ones doing all the work.
The horses start to slow down as Slate Naomi, I think it was Naomi, that was gesture towards the slowing down process. They sort of stop in what's like a big open clearing, but you're still kind of on this pathway. It's up to you where you go from here, though.
I think I, having pulled in and waited for the other one to come alongside, would talk across from one to the other and say, I don't know how far we have to go, but we should definitely look for somewhere suitable for the weather, a storm and or attack, somewhere defendable, somewhere good to camp. I reckon we just head on down the road and keep an eye on the first spot that we think is even remotely good. We just get to it.
Sounds a plan. Is there tree cover here?
There's a significant amount if you go off path, yeah.
Yeah. It's not like when we arrived where, it was the oddly sparse.
No, the further down towards Broadadir you go, the more dense it gets. It's not significantly dense, like I said earlier. It is just more dense, yeah.
Cool. So we'd be able to find cover where it's sheltered if we went into the tree line a bit.
Off path for a while, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of suggest that. I'm no expert with survival techniques, but that's my logic.
So Hatsu would make kind of a big square.
Mhm.
And he would then build up the tents so they would corner an area in the middle. And he would make like something like a mast. He would hammer in like some wood to get the horses kind of leashed onto the wood so they can't move away.
Yeah.
But they would also get the warmth from the tent side, if that makes sense. So they're a little secured from the winds and everything. And he would also make sure that they would get some warmth from the fire and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you guys set up a good campsite here. You have the horses tethered so they're not going to run away. You have them set up so they're dry and out of the snow. You set up your tents. You do things. Are you eating rations or food tonight? Are you hunting or are you rationing?
I think from time purposes, Hatsu would offer rations to everyone. So I'm gonna mark off 6, I guess.
Of course.
Is there a river or a lake in the area?
Not here. This is completely flat land.
If somebody's open to having a look around in case there's something easily accessible, I'm happy to cook it. I mean, I've been practicing for months now, so can whip something up fairly easy if you can find some raw ingredients, so or a rabbit or I don't know, whatever. But I'm also happy to have rations. I'm just going to start making
you
a
could also
fire.
probably grab a few herbs and make rations better too if you wanted. It doesn't like there's always ways to work around it. Yeah.
I'm going to start boiling snow to get clean water, etc., and build up the fire and logs and stuff for the evening, and have everything ready if there's something to be cooked.
And Dash will leaning against a tree and watch all of you do all of this work.
That's why he's gonna eat last.
Picking berries, whatever. Yeah.
I'm going to suggest Dash would actually go and see if there's any small game to hunt, rabbit or something like that, just to top up the food.
If you're hunting for stuff and if you're looking for berries and stuff, both of them I believe fall under survival. So I'll go with that. So Eos, I'll get you to go with survival, and Dash, I'll get you to go with survival for the berries and for the bunnies.
Not very good at it, but I will try. Oh, hey, a 15.
That's 12, Captain.
You find some herbs, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing quite strange. It's a little difficult buried in the snow for things to grow here anyway, so you just find some everyday stuff, but it's pretty good. 15. Yeah, you'll get probably two rabbits, mostly with patience, like a small trap, like a very common trap that you would set. There's no difficulty to it whatsoever, and you manage to catch 2. Yeah.
So as I kind of retrieve them, I'll just say,
They're the cutest bunnies you've ever
I'll
seen,
pick
man.
them back. I'm so sorry. The circle of life thing is bullshit.
As you do that, one of their eyes kind of start to glow red, and they're like,
Oh no, not again.
you recognize that this is one of the rabbits you may have seen in the past that jumped quite significantly high to snatch a bat out of the air. Oh, you didn't see that, but you do understand that there's something creepy about this rabbit. But for as a reminder to the podcast listeners and to the viewers and stuff, this would be a similar rabbit that was seen. I think it was Eos maybe when she was watching. Someone was watching from the original campsite. Yeah.
This reminds me of the videos online where like a kid brings a raccoon into the house and the parents are like, "That's not a cat" or whatever. Put that down. Definitely one of those.
With that in mind, is there something different about its anatomy that I see?
The sharp teeth that are like buck teeth on a rabbit are more fang in nature. They're both just sharp, 2 piercing fangs. Fangs are usually predatory. So whereas rabbits that we would know would be more herbivores and their teeth are built that way, this is more built as a carnivore.
And would it be fair to say that Eos is probably the nearest to me if she's out foraging?
I'd say you guys aren't that far apart, yeah.
Eos?
Got berries.
I got creepy rabbit.
They're just like trying to like wrangle free from Dash's arms.
Oh, don't worry about that.
I'm just gonna break it.
Oh my god, what just happened?
Sorcerer's Burst.
Same thing. It rolled all the
Lightning.
elements.
Rolled all of them again.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, we didn't fix that. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that's something you just need to remind me in Discord, please. It was what damage type? Were you
Lightning.
trying? Lightning.
Yeah.
It was 5, so there you go. So it deals 5 damage to the rabbit, which kills it anyway.
Fuck.
You're safe now.
It's just like you get a static shock from it. You don't get like an electric shock, but you definitely get a static shock from it.
Is it still edible?
Yeah, around the burnt bits. Sure.
I could have just snapped its neck, yes, but I just wanted to show you how creepy it looked.
The other rabbit stops wriggling and just sort of sits still and just like looks around.
Let's take out my dagger and just.
Okay.
Fine.
I'll assume it does enough damage. Yeah, you sneak attack. You have an ally nearby, right? The rabbit explodes. Yeah, no, you just get a nice clean cut on the second rabbit. Yeah.
Okay. Guess I'll take him back to camp and try to skin him.
Cool. One of them's a lot easier to skin than the other. Fur is just melted to the skin of one of them.
Oh,
It was lightning.
smells like.
Don't know if you've seen the damage lightning can do, my brother, but
34 apparently.
34, yeah. I did fix that. I thought I did fix that too. Yeah, so you guys eat, you have rabbit and herbs and stuff, so like with Slate you would be able to cook something up using the rations mixed if you want to, or just use these. The horses can be fed easily enough as well.
It's my cook's utensils.
Nice, an 18. It is a substantial meal. It's quite large, quite nice. Best meal you guys have had in a while. The rabbit is really fresh. Some of it's cooked to perfection. Not all of it, but some of it.
It's almost hard to taste the lightning.
Yeah. Taste the lightning. Yeah. So it's an easygoing night. There isn't too much in the way of like blocking what you're trying to do and setting up the camps. So what I'll say is that as we approach our watch, we'll take a little break here for a few minutes. Feels like a good moment to do that while you guys are eating, because you can just eat IRL as well. And we have like a million thanks to say. Oh my goodness.
Twitch chat, what happened?
We got followers. We got 10 subs from Busy. 5 from myself, 5 from On Your End, 5 from Rory, another 5 from On Your End. We got Reprobate donated bits with on-screen alerts, and On Your End did the Gigantify and the emotes. Flying Orc gave out 10 gifted subs to just for the hype train, which didn't count, by the way, and I'm not thrilled about that, but I guess maybe you can't count against your own hype train. I didn't know that. And then Busy gave another 5 subs, which is just nuts because he was in the middle of that incredible speech and he was just making the most heartfelt, amazing speech, and then I was like, how did he do that? Like, he donated 5 more subs, and it's just like, oh, how did he do that? So, amazing, all of you. Thank you so much. That was really nice.
It's awesome.
Don't know if we smashed our hype train goal or if that was just on par with it, but like level 7 is our record, so that was amazing. Thank you so much.
If you guys could just cut it off at 199 followers, I'd appreciate that. If we get to that level, just stop at 199.
As a reminder,
So
we
you
have about a
don't
month.
have to eat those.
Yeah, we have about a month to get sort of 45 followers, so that we can watch Kean eat a California Reaper, is it?
Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper. Much more dangerous. Carolina Reaper. We want to watch that. We're ready to fork it over and send the Reaper to Dash's door. So please.
Or Dash?
Sorry, to Kean's store. It's a habit because I try and call you guys by your character name when we're in session.
I'm just going to throw it out there. If Kean eats one, I'll eat one if someone else eats one. So 3 of us could eat one for the 200 mark.
I would be willing to eat it for sure.
Just go like,
which
whatever.
also means I'd be back on the post show for an episode. So I'm just saying, if you want to see me on the post show, you can follow.
Make Kean suffer. That's all we need. 200 stuff.
And very briefly, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to a giveaway that we have in our Discord server. You get 15,000 XP and some incredible games that were given in by the community by people who wanted to remain anonymous, but they donated some games to give out from a Humble Bundle, I think it was. All you have to simply do is just go to our Discord. It's as easy as that. There's a little button that you click. Just make sure that you're verified when you do it. It'll tell you everything there, and that's it. You're in it to win it. We'd love to see someone from the community win. It is closed to staff. Sorry guys, you can't enter, but it is open to our wonderful community. So we hope that someone deserving gets it. So please feel free to take a look if you want to see the full list of games and everything. It's on our Discord as well, because there's quite a few. There's like 8 games, 7 games.
You know, the last raffle I was at was very interesting because the people who ran the raffle actually won it. So it's not unusual for that to happen now and again.
All right, Father Ted, calm down. That's it. So perfect. Thank you so much. Well, I mean, we can't win because we can't enter. That dealt with that problem. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be 10 minutes. So that means, of course, there will be a boss fight. In about 2 minutes or a minute and a half, you will get a message that just says how to enter. So exclamation point with your class, whatever you choose. And there is, of course, as always, a prediction as well, which is just set up there. Thank you so much.
I'm going to say we got so much hype train, you know, bits, subs, everything. The only thing that would make it better is if loads of people got in on the boss battle, like everybody.
Yeah, I think people are like...
At another record.
I love, actually, there's this thing that goes on in the background. It's totally out of tangent, but very quickly, I love that the guys that are sitting here that are playing, you guys are like, okay, if we do exactly this at exactly this time, and like maybe this sort of will line up and it'll be perfect damage. Like, they're super into it, so you gotta help them out, man. You gotta help them out and engage in chat and tell them what you're doing, because they'll engage back. So hell yeah. But for now, let us take a quick break. Don't you run away. Thank you so much. See you shortly.
Let's make a break, Dad.
And we are back. Thank you for being with us there for that. We appreciate it. And we are back with our group, ready and waiting for the night. So I ask you, what is your watch order?
You still go in the first round.
I'll sleep first, then come back later.
I traditionally take the first watch, so I'll join EOS, I guess, for the first watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there is one watch. Good to know.
I'll stay up all night.
Hatsu would usually do the in-between, and maybe Ayama then would do the last one.
Sounds good. So with that, we reach a point where the group is ready to pull it in for the night. So Dash and Eos, what up as the blizzard around you continues to fall?
Not sure I'll ever adapt to this cold.
You don't like it?
If you grow up in a hot climate, it's a lot of a shock to the system to get used to.
I like it. Everything's quiet and peaceful. You can see anything stirring. It is stunning.
Warm beachside, warm beachside. If you could be anywhere right now, yes. No limits, no strings. Where would you be? What would you be doing?
You see that star?
Uh-huh.
Give me a bookstore and put me up there.
On a star, wouldn't that be like hot and fiery?
No.
Or you just mean like going through the heavens?
Up in the cosmos somewhere.
Just like floating?
Mm-hmm. Being
Would you not be
present.
lonely?
You never learn lonely with a good book. Or 10,000.
I mean, fair enough, but food and sustenance, social interaction were...
I didn't think it of that.
Yeah. I mean, just the aesthetic is nice, but the practicalities might, might suck a bit. Nice if you could go there and back. I'd like to see what this looks like from up there.
There was a story once of a person who rose above the horizon and saw what is truly beyond there. They came back. They felt nothing but grief. Why are you giving a thumbs up to me?
That's just my camera messing up. I didn't do a thumbs up.
They came back from the heavens and they felt nothing but grief and sadness.
Huh, that sounds sad. I guess if the heavens are as great as what we're told, if it's the place of the gods, then it'd want to be better than this.
Placing the gods and the dead gods. Once you stop believing, once we all stop believing, it moves on to the next one.
So if we just all decided right now, stop believing in the twins or Minerva, they just cease to exist.
Apparently.
So do we create our own gods? Just
No. The gods are real. But how do you explain the sunrise to the blind person? They can feel the warmth. They can hear the birds chirping, but they can't see it.
this is true.
What do you believe in, Dash? Are you for the twins? For Minerva?
I don't put much stock in the gods, I'll be perfectly honest. I know they're there, but I believe in myself. I guess I've made my own way in this world. I've had a damn good time, relatively speaking.
Whose church or chapel shall you marry Lissa in?
If we ever do get married, I think it would be more of a...
There's no ifs, you kissed the girl.
Not every kiss is a commitment to marriage, yes. Not in our culture, anyway. I mean,
I've a different place.
Very different. I mean, I've kissed many people just as a way of distracting them, keeping their attention locked. While quite often Lissa did the heavy lifting in the background unseen.
Wow.
The belief of love is almost stronger than actual love sometimes for those who've never experienced it. Particularly those who live a masked, fraudulent life. They look for these epic romances and they believe any bullshit story you tell them.
Oh, but the stories are great.
The stories are fantastic. You know, I mean, you say yourself, you find it in books. If I pick up a book in a bookstore that has a particularly engaging story, then, you can recycle that and tell it to people. Holds their gaze, holds their attention.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have them entrapped like that, they're very often putty in your hands.
When I first met you, I definitely underestimated you. You're far more tactful than I thought.
Most do, yes, and I kind of like it that way, to be perfectly honest. If people start overestimating or even estimating me, then I'm not doing my job right.
So what was your first job ever?
My first job ever. Well, I want to get down to the very basics of it, stealing an apple.
From a tree with a snake, or?
No, from a cart. I was just kind of a little... Oh, I've been 6, 7. Just roaming the streets of Palperat. I was hungry. I mean, my family weren't the worst off, but there was some days where we couldn't eat until late. We had to provision our food. I think by some standards that would make us very wealthy there. It was the middle of the day and I was hungry. And there's this kind of big, burly chap selling fruit, a little push cart on the streets of Alperoth. And I saw him talking to a relatively wealthy looking guy, and while he was looking away, I took an apple, just walked on. He never noticed. That's kind of how I learned the value of being able to hold someone in conversation like that. If their attention is drawn like that, they're not looking at what your hands are doing.
Damn, that's clever. What was the most difficult job you've done up to before you joined us at school?
The one where Alyssa saved my ass. She kind of took my role in the end of that one. I was trying to do, but myself and Alyssa didn't always work together. We were often on the opposite side of jobs. Palbrod's a big place, but when you operate in the industry that we do, you kind of end up seeing the same people over and over again. We often end up with the same interests, with the same targets. You'd get this one, I'd get the next one. In this particular case, we were trying to steal this nice, beautiful, wonderfully cut blue gem from one of those high, like a house up in a tall building. Managed to get my way into the party, talk my way in as I usually do, and made my move a bit too early and was caught. But then Lissa turned on the charm and kept their attention while I was able to knock out a guard and sneak my way out a back window. I had to leave the gem after me.
Oh.
But it's fine. I have a feeling Lissa might have managed to pick it up afterwards anyway. I'd never been caught up to that point. So that was new for me and I panicked a bit. Didn't quite know how to handle it, but she turned it with such grace. Kind of fell in love with her there and then.
How long ago was that?
Not too long. 2 years, maybe. 3.
That kiss really did mean something to you then.
Oh, it meant everything. So yeah, I kind of feel like I owe her. So just kind of since then, we ended up working together, and our adventures became much more fruitful. We realized that, you know, teaming up, it kind of doesn't double the value of what we get; it almost quadruples it. I do one part of the job, she does the other, and the spoils are even greater.
That's crazy.
Also, my friend Alandor he's a kind of a mentor of mine. You might meet him one day. I think he would like you.
You never mentioned his name before that.
Did I not?
No.
He was a fairly wealthy guy. He took me in. He kind of saw what I was about. He caught me without catching me, if you know what I mean. He just kind of stood back and watched it. I almost didn't realize he was watching until he approached me and gave me some pointers on how to refine my style, old sport. The accent, the presentation, the way I hold myself, what to drink, how to eat, who to speak to. And it was a valuable lesson. Doesn't translate a whole lot well out here. There's a whole different style of speaking and culture that I have to adapt to, but that's part of why we do this. We learn.
So good. Okay. I'm amazed I didn't know any of this. This is so good.
Oh, thank you for asking. I do enjoy a good conversation.
It's important. I usually listen, but since I've met you guys, I've learned to try and talk more.
You learn a lot more about yourself when you engage in conversation as well. Probably more than you even realize.
So what do you think is next? How do you think we're going to enter this little town or village full of wolf people?
I'm hoping we just walk right in. You know, I think at that point, if they see you in particular, will be more welcome than, say, Dagtorp.
That's what I'm hoping. They'll see another lost soul in the way when they see me. That or they eat me, and, well, that's the end of that.
We won't let them eat you, don't worry. Not that you really need any help. I've seen what you can do, but
Dash, that's... Eos holds out her hand. He sees little stars and some of them are flickering. My stocks are running low.
what do you mean?
Well, I can only do so many of them until I need to rest for what feels like a week.
Oh, it just takes a certain amount of energy to cast.
It takes a lot out of me. The big ones, yeah, like when I brought you guys off the ground and such like that, but the smaller ones like casting lightning I can do endlessly. But there's more things that I would like to do more often, but I've only got so many bottles.
Okay.
Or so many stars. Ding.
It's kind of like sprinting. You know, if you need to run really fast, you can only do it a certain amount of times before you really need to stop and take a big breath.
Yeah. Just fingers
Okay.
crossed we get somewhere, I don't know.
I mean, we might be able to rest and broad it here. Depends what our plans are when we get there.
I don't want to keep you guys around for a week there.
Well, we should practice more with this kit that I got. I mean, if we can just make you look human, then we'll be good.
What if I'm allergic to makeup?
Have you tried it?
No, because I read in a book you can be allergic to it.
Well, you can be allergic to herbs and spices too, but you don't know until you try.
You mean the food that makes your eyebrows sweat?
I think more the ones that make your eyes bleed.
I haven't had those.
Neither have I. I'm just assuming.
We should buy a box of that whenever we see it.
If we can find it. Come here, let me try this. I'm just gonna try and use the disguise kit on Eos and see if I can make her look human.
She keeps closing her eyes because she's scared. But she half trusts him as well.
That's a 9.
How do I look?
Kind of looked like you got punched in the face.
No, that's nothing new. How do I look?
Like you're a human that got punched in the face. Lots of purple patches.
Do you think we can sell it? Isn't that what you guys say? You got moxie, you can sell it.
I mean, you can convince most people of many things, but not quite sure how we sell this one.
Oh. Do you want it back?
Yeah, I still need practice with this damn thing.
Okay. She like starts rubbing her face with her hands trying to get her off.
Like I've seen women at parties just like they go to the bathroom and and suddenly they have like cheekbones.
Because she's asleep, but when you're, bride to be wakes up, we'll ask her how she does it.
Yeah, it's a good call. Alright, I should get some rest here. I gather you're staying a bit longer.
Do you like mustard, Dash?
Yes.
Good.
That's good. Particularly on hot dogs. Anyway, good night.
Bye.
Dastardly and mustard. So with that, who's up next with Eos? Remind me.
You see Hatsu passing kinda the Dash on his way.
Okay.
And he goes beside him and he goes, Mr. Cold. He kind of changes his voice on purpose.
Mr. Toshitsugu?
And he just wanders off towards the earth.
Yeah. You join Eos and Dash. You lay down next to Lissa and fall asleep.
How's the first watch been?
Good. I've learned some interesting things about our friend Dash. A bit more tactful than I thought. Likes mustard.
I meant it more. Was there something going on?
No,
I mean, a watch is a watch, not a talk, I guess.
that's very fair.
Forgot
I
about that
didn't
part.
actually. Yeah, hang on. Voice in the sky.
Yeah.
Should we?
I'll get both of you to roll for me, but we're going to be dealing with it at the end anyway,
Bro.
so.
Roll a history check if you remember that you saw something.
That will be.
It's my weakness is that I love RP, man. So I get lost in you guys just doing stuff. I don't want to chime in or sit there and I'm enjoying the ride, man.
14 for Dash.
14 from Dash and 8 from Eos. I'll come back to that
She was
later.
too invested in the conversation.
Eos, I need another one from you, and Hatsu, I need one from you as well. Then before you start your conversation, might as well just get it done as well.
That's much better. Oh my god.
Hatsu found a major honor.
sees the
That's a
star.
15 from Eos and a 25 from Hatsu. Nice. You guys may begin.
Do you like mustard, Hatsu?
What is mustard?
So it's this thing they sell locally. I didn't know Dash knew of it either, but back in my village, they sell it in this little jar. And it's typically kind of a brownish yellow with seeds inside it. And it is so nice on sandwiches, breads. So it's like texture of cream, but fiery.
The
Great for
only
sinuses.
fiery I know is wasabi.
What's
Do you know
wasabi?
wasabi?
No.
It's like a greenish paste.
What?
It doesn't burn in your throat, but it kills your nose.
So I'd like to try this wasabi sometime.
Oh, I'm only allowed to eat it once a year, but
Why once a year?
it's tasty. Oh, we have a strict diet.
Oh, fireballs.
Sometimes I'm allowed to eat mother's bread, and sometimes I use a little honey on it.
Little honey.
But the honey is more like a medicine.
Yeah. How good is the mother's bread?
Unmatched. The smell alone will make you feel rested.
Ooh.
You can taste the love she puts in it. And there's a tradition that we also have like full nuts in it. And then when you cut it, you have these little chunks of nuts within the bread.
Yeah, that'd be much better than these rations. And the lightning rabbit.
Or did you eat a rabbit?
Had a couple of thighs. It was alright. Bit of a spark in it.
Just be careful, if you eat too much rabbit, you might need some extra vitamins and stuff.
Exactly. The berries, I mean, they're fine, but they're crunchy because they're so cold, but they should help. You know, Dash asked me a question. I might ask you this too. If you could be anywhere right now, where would you like to be? And I won't ask for specific details or how you'd survive.
There's a story that I heard as a kid about a realm where some entities live. They took ages and centuries to perfect the art of war, the art of sword fights, the art of the strong and steady heart. I would love to spend eternity there to get a chance to learn everything.
Wow. Training forever.
I've heard that we train lifelong anyway. Why shouldn't we train forever? In an ever-expanding universe, there's always something new to learn.
That's very true. Wow. You think Gayame would want to do the same?
Might be a question for Ayame.
Let's talk to her more. Such a wonderful, respectful person. Are most people from your village like that?
I can't tell. Usually we don't speak about things like that.
I never spoke so much until I met you.
Same.
Okay. Mustard, honey, wasabi.
Ooh, what if you mix honey with mustard?
Oh, could you imagine? Ooh.
Sweet with a kick, just like you.
Yeah. Ah. Thank you.
But where would you be if you could decide?
Ooh, that star. I want a bookshop and a star.
Wouldn't last long, wouldn't it?
That's what Dash said too, but I read stories that apparently there was this guy, he went above the horizon, he came back and he felt grief and sadness for the rest of his life from what he saw and what he felt. But surely in the great cosmos there's something wondrous in other places we could live.
Well, I think that's not quite how it works as far as I understood. You have to see stars more like a feeding trough for the universe.
Ooh.
Nothing can live without its energy, but on the other hand, it's so powerful if you are too close, you would just burn yourself.
Yes, like the boy with the wax wings, yes.
That's different, but
Yeah,
also the same.
Aspirations.
Same, but different.
Like mustard and wasabi.
But near every star might be objects that are habitable.
Other planets? We only see the moons. When there's two, it's dangerous, but
Well, moons are the objects in the sky that didn't manage to become a planet. But you don't want to be here.
I said a prayer last night to Minerva. I felt like I might have said a little bit too much, but it's had me thinking. You, my newfound friends, are absolutely wonderful. My mother's wonderful. Some of my neighbors are lovely. People in school are wonderful. It's changing my view on things slowly. Not all people want to hunt and kill me.
You see, I think that if you would create something that is that complex as things we know, you would give your creation the opportunity to experience and learn, to then later maybe understand more complex things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how you would teach a kid. If you think about the time frame that some entities has already seen, We are kids, right? We have to learn the basic lessons first.
Yes.
I don't think that this is the end of our destiny, nor our existence. So maybe one day you can be on that planet. Maybe not as Eos in the vessel, but Eos as the spirit that roams the universe.
Thank you, Hatsu. It was just a gas looking up at the star.
Eos, at this point, you sort of begin to transcend to meditative states. Who's going to take over here? I'd probably recommend Slate, yeah, and then Ayami for the last one. So, yeah, Eos wakes up Slate, and then you swap, I suppose.
As discussed previously, Slate needs his beauty sleep, so that's why he went down first to be able to do the last watch.
Slate, it is your time.
Anything strange or unusual?
You might get asked where you want to be. Don't go into too much detail about it.
Okay.
I'll get you just both to quickly roll perception or investigation, please.
Both as who?
Sorry, that's Hatsu and Slate.
Bup. He's clearly distracted with a 14.
Must be a good conversation. Can't wait to find out. Slate, you approach Hatsu then.
Bleary-eyed, rubbing my eyes, not quite used to the light, trying to get used to the low light and settle in. Not awake for sure. Just stroll up to Hatsu, have a quick glance around, and everything appears to be the way it should be, or as I expect it to be. Same question from I had for Eos to Hatsu. Anything strange?
Not so far. Was quiet. But I think Eos is quite occupied with a lot of questions.
Well, hopefully she'll be able to sleep. Sometimes it can be hard when you have all that going on.
Have you been able to sleep?
Oh, like a log. Have you checked on the horses recently?
Now I'm gonna do on the end of my turn. Would be sad if they would be gone when we want to
Well,
start
the heat from
again.
the fire should keep them going.
Yeah, you're right. But I also think that it might be beneficial for Dash if we would have walked, to be honest. He could learn so much from your skills.
I mean, he could always walk back.
So how do you feel? How do you come along? Have your emotions settled a little bit?
I mean, I still have a lot to figure out, a lot to understand, a lot to remember. And I don't really know what sets that off. If you get me, I can't remember what I've forgotten. One of those situations.
Maybe we get the opportunity to go back to your beautiful town and find more pieces.
Hopefully. But like everything we do, who knows where the road will take us.
That's the beauty of the journey, I guess.
Even from the bits I can remember, it's been a hell of a journey.
May I ask you, I saw you playing in the bar, and it felt to me you lost all your thoughts, the things that occupy you, and you had a chance to flow and be truly yourself. And that made me happy. How did you figure out that music has that might over your feelings?
I think we've all experienced that song, that melody, that music that instantly transports you to a place and time, to a specific memory that you hold to a particular song or jingle or whatever it may be. And I guess being able to do what I do and be who I can be, sometimes having that continuity to be able to play that same song. Maybe I look like someone else, maybe I am somewhere else, but I can bring that piece of home or me into my mind through song. I've always found that comforting.
I was never able to choose what kind of music was played. There was all fixed ceremonies, procedures. I never actually had the opportunity to find out, I guess. But it
In all your
felt good
time,
to see you thriving doing it.
have you ever been training, marching, patrolling, whatever it is you do, when someone nearby, not associated to you, a street vendor, a merchant, a passing band, have you ever heard something that you enjoyed, even though you may not know what it was, or you may not have been able to choose it, as you said? Surely you've heard something somewhere that you liked.
There's a very specific song that is played once a year when the cherry blossoms are celebrated. I like that song a lot, but they only play it during that period of time.
What I'm going to do is take out my loot, and I'm going to kind of throw it under my jacket to muffle it somewhat, but I'm going to very gently pull different chords to get the gist of a sound and try and talk through with Hatsu if any of the chords strike a chord with him, if you know what I mean. Not that I'll be able to replicate the song, but I'll be able to get a semblance of it, or a start of it, or, you know, something we can work on another time. But just something to take away, particular couple of chords.
Yeah, just go for a performance check then. And perhaps Hatsu, actually, I'll give you perception as well.
It's a 21.
And a 14.
Hatsu, your lack of knowledge from music doesn't contribute a lot here, but there is some familiarity with it because Slate is playing each of these chords perfectly. And it's more of a vibe of like, oh, I think it's this one, or maybe this one. It's something around this, like this chord. Like what you're trying to explain and what Slate takes from that is that it's less about the chord, but more about the scale that revolves around the chord. And that's what you're honing in on, and from there Slate might be able to get the general idea of what it is, or, you know, like what needs to be done. One day, should he hear it, he'll have if you can remember this, Slate, of course, because I probably won't. But you can have advantage on learning that song when you hopefully one day cross paths with Saga no Toshi and the Sakura leaves, or perhaps learn it through Hatsu if you remember some of the song.
For now, what I'll endeavor to do, like a child, when you show them something they haven't experienced, is any chord that you seem to resonate with or like or show any kind of love for, I'm going to make note of, and then being a musician, I'm going to go off and try and play with those to come up with my own thing that uses the sounds that I think pleases you.
Would he would have a harp or lute, or what would he have?
The lute is what I took out, so that's what I'm using at the moment for this.
Okay, let's phrase it that way. The moment you would flip a note, that makes sense, you would move your finger, you wouldn't get one chord like harmonic, you would have it on the wrong thing, and it would be something in between, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So you would see that he would very much resonate to that, because where he's coming from, they don't play full harmonics and chords, they often play in between chords. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing I would take a note of, and have a monkey around with in my spare time. And the idea is almost like a bad cover band. When you hear it, you're like, that's sort of like, I mean, not quite, but sort of like an off-key version of, it's that kind of an idea. But it's an attempt, it's a start. In doing that, when we're playing and when we're talking, like I said, I have it muffled somewhat and I'm only doing it very lightly. I'm going to say to you, Hatsu, I wonder if you could help me. And I'm going to show you my forearm. So on my forearm, I have like a bracer or a gauntlet, and it has lots of different scratches and wear and tear and stuff on it. And I'm going to say to you that I've never been able to get it off or have the locks picked on it. And just say, I wonder if this might be something you could help me with.
He inspects them and he would attempt to get them off. If there's like a locker mechanism, or how would I have to imagine them? Are they like steel and then locked, or still like, I don't know what to...
I would say yes, but I would say also they're, with any touch or whatever, it would be obvious that they're on top of the physicality of it. There would also be some kind of an arcane something to it.
Well, I would say he would inspect them, and he would look for weak points. He would kind of have like a little of the idea of some degree of magic, I would argue. So he would inspect them, and he would try to break them off.
So
let's say
how to open it. So
let's say like how somebody would break up what I call shangles, like the metallic ones.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of force, but in a way, shackles, but in a way that he wouldn't hurt him. And since he knows that his punches can also blow through certain types of magic, he would happily try to attempt it.
Okay, so describe to me sort of like, it's a bit tricky. So describe to me how you're intending on doing this. So I understand what your intent is to blow through the magical force of this, but what In what capacity? How are you approaching this? Like,
I think he would try with his katana, because he has the most precision with Kazejoba, so he would rely on that knowledge, and he would kind of measure how much material is there before his arm starts, and he would try to cut it open horizontally so it would like fall off.
okay.
He would look over to Slate,
Yeah.
and he would say, well, it looks a little bit complicated, but if you really, really trust me, I would try it. But I can't guarantee that it works.
I'm gonna get up from where I am, run over and get a log from the campfire from the surrounds, and bring it over, and like a chopping block, put the forearm onto the block.
So you eye up, like, you have a really good, he's very stable. Like, Slate has his hand out and exposed. You have your eye on this shackle. Okay. This is gonna be
One quick question before we do this. If a spell states specifically a target in range, can an object be a target?
object is an object, so it's specified by the spell. If the spell targets a person, then the target is the person. If the spell specifies an object is inclusive, but it would specify it on the spell.
All right. Okay.
Or Slate can
No
regrow
advantage.
limbs.
Get it?
I gotta give you advantage because Slate's helping you. So, like, he's holding his arm and exposing it. So you have your advantage. That's not the problem.
I think over the course of the conversation, you would see all the scratches on it from previous attempts to open it, hit it, bash it, whatever. And I would have explained to you the equivalent of, oh, I've tried a knife, I've tried a chopstick, I've tried this, I've tried that, this person did this, you know. And I would have said to you all these different things that didn't work. So, you know, you would have some idea, so that might help.
All right. So you would see Hatsu having his left arm on the side of the sword, ready to flip it off, and he would kind of take a stance that you've never seen before.
Before you do this, I'll allow you to say this is the end of your long rest if you wanted to use your dedicated weapon to change it from the bow. Because you set it to the bow earlier. You're about to do that. Okay, cool. I'll say this is the end of the long rest and you're allowed to do that because that will help you here more than just, for you to.
So he would take a stance where he would make, like, with his right leg, like almost a circle around him. He would take like a very deep stance. He would breathe in very strong. And you would see this faint black aura pulsating around him as he infuses his sword with the power from within he has. And for a brief moment you see him move as he sheaths back the sword. So he already did hit the braces.
Okay. You have advantage on your attack roll. Let's hope your premonition of hitting is correct. And please don't roll on that one, for the love of God.
Ooh, that was like a
That advantage saved you, boy. That was a nat one. Oh my God.
And that one and a 19 for a 24.
You barely hear it or notice it. But Slate, Kazujoba has definitely struck down upon the shackles. It's almost a second later before you feel the reverberation that shakes your hand. It hits down on this chain, not the chain, but like the where the link of the chain is that keeps it sealed. And the first thing that you both notice is the arcane sparks that fly off this thing. This is a very heavy-duty shackle. It is not as simple as just a regular chain, regular shackle, because you can clearly see for just a momentary flash the symbols that are around the cufflink of this thick, durable shackle around his wrist.
Can I, upon seeing the symbols, try to draw them in the snow with my other hand so I can record them for later, or at least so I can just try and discuss it with someone at a later point? Any of them that I can before they fade.
Yeah, this is something that I'll probably roll a history check for you to help with in a moment. But
Yep.
basically, yeah. So the arcane force that is presented here pales in comparison to the chi that's flowing through Hatsu's dedicated weapon. You both watch it as the sigils disappear, a slice through each one. The shackle breaks open. It falls down onto the log that you were presented over and lands softly into the snow. The sigils are still burned into it, Slate, so you can, as they burst out, it's almost like a gunpowder residue upon them. You can make your notes of those then, yeah.
Well, I assume somebody tried to control you more than hold you in place, right?
It's something like that, but it was a way that people could tell when I was me, even when I was someone else, because I could never get it off. Doesn't matter who I looked like.
Is it only the one?
Slowly looks down at his body. Yeah, I think so.
As you examine your body,
Oh.
Slate, something else draws your eye. Beneath the shackle lay a small imprint of ink. A different sigil, burned into your wrist, carved into your wrist, permanently displayed upon your wrist. As you try and change the form and make it disappear, it remains. It looks more in line with something that would have been on Westland's body than it's something that would be on the shackle itself.
Well, I'm happy that you allowed me to assist. And I'm happy that we both were able to step beyond our boundaries. I've never
Thank
thought
you,
I could cut something like this, to be honest. But you really gave me the power to try it.
I'm just glad it was only the shackle. It was worth it, clearly. Could have been a lot worse.
But a lot
That's
worse.
why I didn't
Sophia
ask.
medic, I would have tried my best to keep your arm.
I appreciate that.
He bows down a little bit and he says, "Welcome to the free world."
I'm gonna do the, the handshake where you go for the forearms, and then I'm gonna step back and do a little bow, like he does, probably badly, but I will try and mimic it. Using my actor feet to do it as best I can, as professionally as I can. But it's not something I'm particularly used to doing. So, but it's just trying to show that little bit of respect and be in earnest of thank you.
If you allow, I would look for the horses now for the last few minutes of the shift.
That's a good idea. I want to do one small thing. I have proficiency with Tinkerer's tools. So what I'd like to do is, if the cut was clean on the gauntlet, I want to see if I can mend it, MacGyver it. I want to see if I can make it somewhat usable, or at least closable, even if it's still damaged, at a future point. That's all.
You can mess around with the Tinkerer's tool, but the impression you would get almost immediately is that this is a bigger thing than you can mess with in the snow. You would need access to possibly, not necessarily full-blown forge, but something that a smith may have at hand. Possibly something the Arcana may have at hand, where you could sit down with the correct tools, but also the correct materials, which you wouldn't have on you to try and fix this.
Yeah, perfect. So I just will put it away in my bag, and then go with Hatsu, and just walk the perimeter and head around to check the fire, the horses, everything is as it should be.
Yeah. Ayami rises for her watch as I believe Hatsu returns. And Hatsu, as you prepare for your next day, basically, because it's all you have left to do, you take your meditative stance and begin your ritual of the morning. And Ayami comes out and sits down on the log, while Slate, you're still doing stuff that you just mentioned. It's probably a good 5 minutes before you realize that Ayami's even sitting there. Whether or not you want to speak to her, approach her, talk to her, that's up to you. But it's, yeah, I will get a roll from both yourself and Ayami for just perception or investigation. And I will also let Hatsu know that the horses were still there.
What I'm going to do is just be a 19 for the perception, and seeing that everything is good, I'm going to go about starting to get things ready for breakfast, moving around the logs for chairs, building the fire back up. It's been burning overnight, but it would have burnt down, getting it back up, boiling water for presumably, tea, coffee, whatever it is people are going to have, and breakfast, that type of thing. Warm water for people to bathe, albeit in small quantities, but I can start melting the snow and things like that, so it's clean for people to wash their hands and all that type of stuff. Just getting things organized and ready.
No worries. Yourself and Ayami got a 19 on your rolls. So with that in mind, yeah, it's very easy to see what's going on. Nothing major catches your eye as you prepare for the morning. You hear some shuffling around. You know people are waking up. Lissa yells at Dash to shut up for 5 more minutes. Normal stuff.
As if Dash should be awake before anyone else.
If there's one that values their sleep more than Dash. Yeah, it's a pretty normal morning. Slate, you just checking the horses as well, and as you look out down, you see along the road that it's getting a bit busier. People are making the journey, and they usually would start in the morning, so it's becoming more of a, it's not a road path, but it's becoming more populated. It's not like mega populated, it's not like a whole caravan moving through, but there's the occasional horses and person going by.
I'd take that to be it's because we're closer than when we started, and the closer the area, there are other places that feed into the area we are, that feeds into where we're going.
This would lean into roughly the halfway mark, so if everyone was camping out, this would probably be roughly the terrain and area where people would stop, because you'd be at that peak halfway jaunt, especially on the horse. As everyone begins to rise, Ayami does a few things. Eos, as you get up, she's going to present you with fresh peppermint that she managed to forage throughout the night or morning.
Ayami.
Slate, she's going to join you and help you just make sure that the tarps are coming down from the horses and stuff. She's going to aid and assist you. Hatsu, she's going to join you when you're doing the post-meditation workout and stuff like that you do to just prepare your body, your stretches, your poses, your sort of Tai Chi movements. I don't know if it's specifically Tai Chi you're doing, but it reminds me of Tai Chi, so I'll go with that. So that kind of Tai Chi slow movements that you do to prepare yourself in the morning. She'll join you in that as well, and then we'll begin to continue helping to take down the campsite and get things ready for the next leg.
You'll spy. She just bows so thankfully. She's like, yes, yes, yes.
It's fresh peppermint too, like, which is really nice. It's more easy to see where she got it from when you look around because the blizzard has worn off throughout the night, and because of that, it's now mostly a little bit of wind. But it is easier to see around, and some of the little things that may have managed to survive around here through whatever means, be it near trees or around that area, or be it through like along the caves inside, like little hill caves and stuff like that. There's just a small amount of vegetation, and she just happened to find something.
When he also makes a tea, the cup for your Ayami is slightly fuller than anyone else's.
You all feel your stomach grumble as there's an overwhelming smell of roast chicken as Chicken the Fox gets to work. It looks delicious. It smells
Where is he even?
delicious. And with that, you're ready to begin the next journey, should you wish. You should be there by roughly nightfall, if you leave.
Yeah, we should get going. Don't want to enter the town like in the middle of the night.
Dash,
Or maybe we do.
Shut up. And she leans out the door and then looks and sees that you guys are the only people with tents up. She's like, fair enough. She goes back in and just starts putting on her coat and everything.
Not in Palproth anymore, my dear.
There's no response.
I will help her pack her stuff away.
Do you think Eos has any coffee in there, or is it just peppermint tea?
Oh, I did mention having coffee for in the morning. 1 second. Anyone got coffee?
My grandmother drank coffee.
This truly is a fate worse than death.
Oh, we'll make sure to put it on the list in Broadadir.
What is this coffee?
You don't need it at all. You're fine. You have good energy balance. Don't worry about it.
I'm just asking, maybe we have some in the back, I just don't know what it is.
Like,
It's small.
Comes in
brown
bean
bean.
form, or
Grind it up
could be
into a powder.
crushed.
You
Is that like an edible?
No, you pour hot liquid through it.
No, I don't think you would find coffee at a nightclub.
As I'm walking to the cart, putting all the stuff in while this conversation's going on, I just walk past and just say to Hatsu, "It's a stimulant," and just keep going.
Yes, that makes sense.
It's like tea, but in my family, you'd only drink it if you want to.
Why would you drink something if you don't want to?
Peer pressure.
Coffee has a reputation amongst my family.
I'm not sure if I want to probe any further on that.
I can give you some of these. And he pulls out the last crumbs of bread from his mother that he had.
No, nice.
So he shared with Boreal and Ayama, and he had a small piece left from the bread, and he hands it over to Lisa.
She looks up gratefully and she's like, where did you get bread of this quality from? This is amazing.
I just kind of whisper to her that that's very sentimental
From my
to her.
mother.
As you whisper to her, she's like, she's like taking a big bite.
It's
Wow.
also like an edible that helps you regain your strength.
She nods and she sort of keeps biting into it. Oh, thank you. This is really nice.
Listen. Manners. Like pretend it's high society. Don't
She's like spitting crumbs at Hatsu. She like wipes her mouth and she cleans, like she swallows like 3 times. Like, yes. Thank you so much, Hatsu. This is a really nice gesture. Is there anything of Dash's that I can give to you in return?
What?
Oh, I already took from him what I need.
What did you take from me?
Oh, nothing that you're missing, I guess.
Right. Well, good. I think it's time we get going. This bread certainly helped. She sort of hands you back a little bit of the last bit of bread to politely, because Dash penalized her.
He would store it away, and he would turn to her again. He would say, "Well, would you mind if I would ride a horse today?"
No, please go ahead. I would really appreciate it. It was very cold.
Since we had some, how could I say, a side quest during the night, I wouldn't trust my bow today, and I'm way more agile with the horse and the sword than on the cart. So I really appreciate.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. Certainly. She offers to help. Like, should I bring your bag over to the cart?
Oh, it's fine. I'm gonna carry it. Thank you.
Okay. If I can help at all, you let me know. Dash, that's unlike Lissa in every possible way. She's, if anything, she goes out of her way to make things less convenient.
Yeah, Dash is just there, kind of like a.
What? Well, you give me really nice bread like that, and I'll be nice to you.
Did I give you a big blue gemstone once?
I remember taking a big blue gemstone once. I don't remember you giving it to me.
I remember leaving it there for you to pick up.
I remember you fumbling it, yes, and scrambling to get it like a lost puppy.
Well, I appreciate your offer, but it looks like you have the hardest job here, so I don't want to bother you.
Professional babysitter, absolutely. She picks up her bag and she just huffs it over her shoulder and she heads off.
Got to trip her.
I sleight of hand if you don't want to be caught doing it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make it versus her passive.
Oh shit, that's 16.
She just casually steps over your foot as you do that and doesn't even comment on it. She just makes it so
that's
natural.
Worse. Damn it.
You're all bored up and
plus 7 to that, and I still fucked it up. Like, goddamn.
barely though. You. Podcast, I just got a 16 there. I don't know if I said that out loud. You guys all board up. You're ready to go. Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're here in this vast expanse of nothingness?
Stare into the abyss.
I'm just going to mention that there's only a day's journey or so ahead of us, but presumably we'll have to eat again soon. And if those rabbits were easy to catch, it might be worth getting a few before we head off.
They were easy, but still took a bit of time to set traps up and wait for them.
Flashback to Dash's head when Eos just electrocutes a rabbit in his hand and like they start snarling at him and they've got fangs and stuff.
They were so hard to catch, very time consuming. Like we'd be getting to town, after midnight. Not sure it'd be worth it.
It's just a thought.
Yeah. We could shoot something on the way, if you see a deer or something.
I mean, you could go look and we could just head on without you.
You'd miss me too much. Wouldn't do that to you.
You're right. It's easier to run you down if you go ahead of us on the road. That way we won't miss.
Slate pulls out the dagger and it's not worth it.
Slate does he? Interesting. Yeah.
Don't tread on me.
Fair enough. Who's riding the other horse?
All right, Storm Song. Let's try this again, shall we, buddy?
Storm Song. The 7
will,
animal handling.
I'm going to go behind Eos on the sled on the horse.
Okay.
Whichever one. Yeah.
Eos, as you try and like move forward, Storm Song is reluctant and goes like is completely reluctant. It occurs to you that it might not have had breakfast yet.
Oh. She takes out a ration and literally leans over one on top and try and feeds it to him.
Yeah.
Yes, there's literal horse food right here.
Hey, I got
eats
this.
it eats the full ration anyway. Almost in one bite. It kind of tosses it up and catches it and just swallows it like a duck.
Give him pats.
Yeah.
How easy do you swallow a duck? Jesus.
Your business.
Wait, DM question. Are we marking off a long rest?
Short rest.
Short rest. All right.
Next time, Ken. Next time. Keep asking.
Try.
Hey, you guys can take a week of downtime in Brotherdeer if you want to.
Is it a new day? Question mark.
It's a new day. Yes.
Okay.
Because there are certain things that recover on a new day, and that's really important.
I had to ask because there was a literal box you gotta tick.
You tick the new day box, but it is a short rest, not a long one.
Back to full health. Out of hit dice.
Yeah, so that might be the time that your party should consider, taking a week of downtime to just recover from this before making the next leg of the journey. Getting some supplies, doing some things, actually investigating the town. Like, there might be a good opportunity for that. This is something you guys need to remember going forward, because I know that throughout our campaigns in the past, it's always been a thing of like, we'll take a short rest, we'll do this, we'll go forward, okay, and then we'll take a long rest here, and then we'll go and do the combat. This campaign is very different when a long rest is a week and a short rest is 8 hours. So remembering to take downtime is very, very important, especially when you're given opportunities to do so by your own actions and where you choose to go.
For no obvious reason, I think we should seriously heed his word.
For also no obvious reason, I would agree.
Just throw it out there.
I'm going to take some time while not being on one of the horses to just write some papers and things like that.
No worries. Yeah, you can do that, especially in the smoother parts. Every so often you'll just jot and there's like a line on the page, but it's fine. The EOS, I'll get an animal handling check again with advantage. Hatsu, I'll get an animal handling check from you as well, please.
Oh, that's much better. 14.
7.
7.
Man, these rolls are cursed today for
You have it.
Oh, yeah, I'm proficient. And like, it's just...
You have a wicked roll today, yeah. Especially on the things you're proficient in, yeah.
He's not used to the saddles.
Fair. Yeah.
I'll do it.
As you take off on a new day, the wind is blowing against you and you hear everything as you're going, but it takes its toll a little bit quicker on you, Hatsu, than it would on Eos. But overall, you guys managed to maintain the flow of the horses. They're fed, they're happy, they're content, they trusted you. You've already taken them on a journey before. The DC isn't particularly high for this. It's just taxing for you, Hatsu. When you reach that 4-hour mark, you're feeling a lot more drained than you would have expected to be. But Eos, you are a little bit more rejuvenated. You've a lot more experience with horses, so it kind of makes sense as well. Yeah. So during the 4 hours, it's probably pretty quiet. You guys are just moving along. Anytime you come up to someone on the road, you guys just kind of move away, get around them, come back. It's
Run over them.
Sure. I mean, you can if you want to. It's pretty
Devil
straightforward.
off my shoulder. No.
Why does the devil on his shoulder just look like Rory?
Not even Eos, just Rory.
Just Rory, yeah. In a Star Trek uniform. Yeah, so it's like, but the journey itself is quite nice. Like, it's a lot of scenery. Dash, for you, for once you see something. There is a unique type of bird here. It's a white bird. It looks akin to a dove, or sort of like with a longer beak, more like a raven, but it's completely white as it flies through the sky. It doesn't look the same as, for example, Albie, who is albino, but it does look like, like something you just haven't quite seen before. And it's kind of flying alongside the cart for a while, so you have enough time to really take it in.
Cool, I'll definitely sketch that and then not shut up about it for about half an hour.
Dash, for fuck's sake. I saw the bird.
But I've never seen one like that before. It's so cute and pretty, and it's like it's so graceful. Like, you barely
She
saw
reaches
any
for her
more.
bow, and then she's like, nah, okay. Could have been for you, could have been for the bird. Hard to tell.
Hearing all these conversations going back and forth about birds and him not shutting up about it, and then the bird being there for a reasonable amount of time, I'd like to spend some time, again, because I'm not riding the horse, to really focus on the bird. And I want to think about the times that we've seen Albie, when Albie's been controlled. And I want to see, do I think, because it's not normal for a bird to follow, they have different flight patterns, they go different ways, they have an area that they go in, and so on. So if we're going along a road, a bird
because corvids, for example, like Dash will just go off on a spiel about how smart corvids are, and like they will follow you if you have food.
Dash, for fuck's sake, I remember from the last lecture.
So yeah, I'm just trying to see if I think that this is somebody in some way watching us, whether it's through magic or someone is controlling the bird or whatever. But basically, I'm trying to get the vibe: is this thing watching us? Because I think it is.
Arcana check.
I don't think it's a normal bird, or
Yeah, no, I get the vibe. You're what you're picking up, what you're putting down.
15.
This doesn't look similar to Albie, because what you do know from Amadriana, when she wargs, we'll just say, her eyes change. There's a big notable change, and Albie's do as well. They mirror that change. But usually you could see what would be almost like Amadriana's eyes from Albie when she's looking through his scope, and you see basically his eyes from Amadriana when they swap. But this bird just seems like a normal bird. You're not noticing anything that's distinctly out of the ordinary. It's just a beautiful bird, a pretty rare one. After a while, it zips down and starts to try and take the food from the cart at the back of it's not on the one Slate's on, but it's at the back of the one that the rest of you is on, with the horse food. It's trying to pull at the bag for the horse food.
I'll just take like a small pinchful and just kind of throw it.
The bird will
away from
follow
the
up and then go straight back down and like land in the snow and start picking up pellets and just chucking it back. Then gets hit by the next cart. No, I'm just kidding. Dash, you're good.
No.
You're fine. Yeah,
I'll turn this cart around through that sand pit.
That's how you make a mortal enemy, and just like run over one of Dash's birds that he's watching.
I'll dedicate my life to this vengeance.
And that's the post-campaign, like, wind down. That's the only thing on Dash's bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you... Yeah, no, the bird just kind of sits down and eats and stuff, and you guys continue moving. At that, Dash notices that Eos likely just... Or probably not Eos. Somebody may have left the bag open. I'm not sure who took the last horse rations. Whoever it was that took the last horse rations maybe just left the bag open a little bit. You close it again, and the scent is gone.
I think Dash remembers that he went, look, yes, and then realizes it was him.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. There's about 2 hours left in the journey as you guys are approaching. Who's currently riding? Because at some point Hatsu and Eos switched, so it would be up to two others.
I'll swap over.
Cool. Just you two. Straight up. That's easy.
Likewise, yeah.
Animal handling then from both of you.
I'm good at this.
Based on my rolls, you might be.
I apparently am good at this. 17.
With a -1. You have -1 to everything?
Oh, Lord.
Slate, please, man. You second that one today, brother.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Dash, you're like sitting there and you are so confident, so cocky. Like this is the shit. Like you have never, like you're like, I hope Liz is watching, or any of the guys, so
I
they
am
can.
going to roll my inspiration. That's what I am
fuck.
going to do. Because I never used it. I never used it.
Okay.
And then you're like, inspiration. I'm like, I haven't used it. So I'm going to use it.
For you, I know this is a big deal. Oh, that's way better.
That's much better.
Yeah,
It still
whatever
works.
you think you got, Dash, you're not as good as me. Look at me.
With a 19.
Yeah, but I saw a cool bird today, so I'm just happy.
But like you think you're absolutely the shit, and you look over at Slate, and you're like, oh, like he looks great. And then you look back at the guys, and they're all looking at Slate, and they're like, he's doing a fucking great job, man. Like that is how you ride a horse. Like you.
Smoking a pipe, reading a book, rains in my feet.
Yeah, you're like absolutely kicking ass at this, and Dash, you're almost as good. Like it's right there, but there's just your moment was taken from you in a moment of inspiration, unfortunately.
It's just riding a horse, man. Like
I feel like
not just show off.
what I was about to say was I was going to take the form of the person who rented us the horses, and then I thought, oh no, the smell would put them off. But then, inspiration took me. So.
Hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You yeah, absolutely. Like without issue, you're both absolutely kicking ass. But Slate, I will say you
any
do.
tricks to ride this horse, just throw it.
I will say that Slate, you look down and notice that one of the buckles is undone, so you just slyly lean down and seal the buckle. That could have been a pretty bad fall. Yeah. So with that, you guys head to Broader. In about an hour and a half, 40 minutes, you start to see smoke in the horizon from the chimney tops of a beautiful city. Not city. A town? City? I'm not sure what it is.
A populated area.
Populated area of significance. It is a town. So roughly 2,500 people live here. It is like a big enough space, and there's like a lot of houses around the main central area, the hub. As it comes into scope, you can see certain things. So first of all, you can see a dock that is connected to a lake. The lake itself appears to be mostly frozen, but there seems to be some sort of operation going on down there. You see the light from the buildings themselves. It seems to be mostly generating the same color, so you would assume fire. The place is, let me pull up a picture here for you guys.
Ooh.
There you go. So
That's beautiful.
the place is built purposefully on the connecting point of this lake. There's a small area that's an inlet harbor, but for some reason has no way to go. It has a dock, it has boats, but there's nowhere like you can actually leave from here. And on the other side, you see a lake that goes around, and in the center point of that lake is a snowy mountain, and as the wind pushes off the top, it is spraying snow, what looks like towards you. So at first you're like, fucking volcano again, but then you realize that it's actually mostly just the power and force hitting the back of this mountain from the wind.
Nice.
The town, the way it's situated in the frozen lake, this kind of tundra area and stuff like that, it suddenly loses its focus when you start noticing that the main village itself, the way it's built up, you have these low buildings around it that appears to be housing, and inward, it gets taller and taller and taller. So right until it meets in the middle, which is where you see one of the larger buildings. This isn't like Dagthorpe. This isn't a small area with a small amount of people. This is an operational town. Like, this is a big place. There's a lot going on here. And the hustle and bustle can be heard from like basically you're 5 minutes out and you can already start hearing things from like way, way, way over. The wind is carrying the sound towards you. The first thing you get is the massive waft of fish. There's a big smell of fish as you approach this town. And then after that, what you start to notice is that when you're coming into the town and you slow down with the horses, there are people there and they're like kind of, it's not like a guard post as in like they're taking incoming, outgoing tolls or anything like that, but there is an inspection area. At this point, you also need to send the horses back.
Oh, okay. Oh, as I get off the cart, hood up. You said sun is down, correct?
It's sundown. Yeah, it's sundown.
Good. May I do the study check?
The which? Sorry.
The stealth check with the...
Stealth. Yeah,
magic
go
rope.
for it. Oh, yeah. It's enough. I believe it's dim light now, so you can. Yeah.
Perfecto. With advantage because of the cloak.
Yeah.
That's grand. That is a 19 for the podcast listeners.
Woohoo!
Nice. Yeah, that's easy enough. Are you guys sending the horses back and everything at this point?
What I'd like to do is, if everyone's getting out of the cart, help offload the supplies, but actually in that area, I basically want to ride around in circles with the cart, showing off the cart with the inscriptions on the side of it, like I said I would. And I want to start, screaming out, basically where we're from, great deals, horses, travel back and forth, basically sharing the good word about the business and the stables and, how what a good deal it is, etc. And if you're ever in the area, look them up, etc., and make a lot of ruckus just to make sure people see us, hear us, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then go back to the group and be like, okay, whoever, if we're ready, we'll send them off. But just make sure I do that first. I said
While Slate was driving around, Hatsu would prepare a little letter with like an envelope. He would leave a message there and he would put one gold piece in that envelope and he would seal it with wax and put it under the saddle of the horse with the cart. So he would know that the owner would find it if he would take off the saddle.
That's a hell of a lot of money. That's more than they...
I was
like
about to
5
say
times
it
as
was,
much
like,
as
it was like 10 silver or something to rent them for 3 days. We've had them for 2 days and we didn't have any money apparently, and now you have a gold piece. Did we see this?
We have to reward people that put trust in you. We built the future, remember.
That's nice. Yeah, absolutely. And the horses, off they go. In terms of did you see this, I'd say, Hatsu, if you're doing this stealthily, make a sleight of hand for me just to see if Slate caught it.
Yep.
You got called out, son.
Mm,
21. Slate, I'm going to go with your passive and say no. That's just really high. Something smells fishy, but it could just be the town. Yeah, the horses head off. Are you guys going to approach the gate?
Yeah, as you say, the guard's doing inspections.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of turn to the rest, just give them a nod of acknowledgement and signal with that Slate to kind of join me. And I'll take the lead, walking to the guards, and just kind of walk up to them and just be like, "Oh, good evening."
The original sled we have would be back to being a sled that we're pulling as a group because so the other horse has gone back with the other one and the cart, so we'd still have our bits and bobs.
Yeah. I'll just engage the guards in conversation.
Yeah. Walk up with Dash.
How are you keeping? Decent operation here. Any trouble passing through recently? How things been for you?
No trouble. It's just been a bit busy lately. Yeah, we're just keeping an eye out. You know how it is. Making sure none of the riffraff makes its way through.
Absolutely. Well, we'll make things easy for you. We got these few bits here on the sled that we're carrying through. We're just kind of on the way from Dagtorp. We were helping out Orla full time up there, so we're just making our way down here now.
I bet you got amazing kills under that top.
We got an earful, more so than anything. She told us a lot about her stories, and damn, she's done some incredible shit.
Yeah, that sounds like Orla, all right. I haven't seen her in a while. How is she?
Drunk.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. Good fun, though. But she could put away her whiskey.
We're just gonna have to do a routine inspection. Totally normal. You seem really down to earth, so I'm sure there's no problems.
Sure, anything we can do to make it easier for you?
Yeah, do you know these people?
Yeah, they're friends of ours.
Okay. Should be easy enough. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. I'll come with you.
He just comes with you back towards the group.
Cool.
I need to know situationally about a little bit of everything. So, Eos, tell me first how you are stealthing.
So she has the hood up. So, hood's up. She's trying to act busy around the car. So she's specifically looking down towards things, making sure the hood is covering as much of her face as possible. As per her typical outfit, head to toe, literally covered up by cloth.
Okay. And so, Richard, I'm going to jump to you. What's the situation with the cart? I guess the tarp is down. No, we established that much. What's the situation? The sticks are there. The bodies are still there. Everything is like as it was, basically?
Great bodies on the cart?
I think the bodies we brought them back for Orla, they were brought back to the town for her. That was the point of it.
I'm
was
not
to
100%
return
sure it
the
was ever
bodies.
said, but I'll retroactively say it was done. But that's okay. So it's just the sticks on the cart, right?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't clean the cart. If that's any odds to you, you can go with that.
No, it's nothing like that.
We because the bodies were brought back for her because she knew them for her town. That was the whole point.
Yeah,
They were retrieved.
We'll say they were dropped off. I'm not sure we mentioned it. Maybe we did. I'm just forgetting. Could be a thing.
Yeah, I'd imagine she'd be upset if we said we'd bring them back for respect. Yeah, just left, stole them.
Yeah. So all right. So that's basically the whole setup.
I want to add something to it.
Go ahead.
If the guard would, I assume he would also like face check kind of situation thing. If Hatsu would get the impression that the guard would like further look onto Eos, he would place himself kind of a little bit behind the guard so he wouldn't see, and he would stealthily sneak a minor illusion on her face to make her, as he would assume, a super beautiful young woman that would kind of look like a little bit of Orla, but maybe he would alter it a little bit so she wouldn't look the same.
Okay. So, yeah, it's not verbal, but it is somatic in components. Okay.
And hold on that because I have things for that might work as well.
I'll get you to just make a sleight of hand check, Busy, just preemptively.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so good.
For 21.
Not everywhere will a sleight of hand check work, but in some places it may. For casting spells, it is much more difficult to hide the verbal components than it is the somatic. And I'll say that you're doing it in enough of a way that you're prepared for this, planning ahead, and I'll reward that with this. But this may be more leaning into rule of cool. This same situation comes up, you may not get the same result next time. Okay. All right.
As we're kind of walking back, I'm just kind of like, so I'm Finn. I'm a traveling merchant. This is my mate Slate.
What's your last name, Finn?
Calder.
Calder.
Yeah.
Don't know the Calders. Where are you from?
I was kind of Just off center of Palparoth. Don't know if you've.
Oh, you're one of those.
I get that a lot out here, but not one of those. More like one of those. You know what I mean?
Born and bred or born and left?
Born and trying to leave.
Ah, trying to.
And so I'm out here.
Strange.
Picked up a
So
job
many
as
people try and go
merchant.
to Poporoth. I've never seen many run away from the Golden City.
Yeah, but they're kind of. Gonna be honest, they're kind of pricks over there. So they're just not my vibe, and I just kind of wanted to get out and see a bit of the world. So picked up as a merchant, and my friends are a couple of traveling performers. They do some
Yeah,
shows and stuff out of there.
Very prepped for the cold. Long journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what Palparoth is like, so we're coming from there. It's fucking cold out here, man.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So you say you're a merchant. What do you sell?
Buying, looking to buy and ship back. So fish is a big thing, and we figured, hey, might be some decent delicacy out here.
Best fish in the Isles.
That's what I've heard, and I'm hoping it's going to sell. Well, if I can fucking keep it, bring it back to Palparoth and sell it there. That's the trick. I figure the cold, that'll keep it for most of the way, but getting it across to Palparoth and keeping it fresh enough to sell, that's going to be my unique selling point. If I can do that, I'm going to fucking make it, you know?
Right. Can I just check the cart? Is that alright?
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, I'll help you with the
How do
stuff.
I do this? Is there a latch or?
Slate, you put this thing together. Give us a hand here, would you?
Like over and untie the knots and stuff.
I'll just move it over. Yeah. Oh, very good. It's a lot of just wood. It seems. Are you trying to sell the wood here, or?
No, that's purely just for campfires and stuff.
It's a bit tricky when it's in a pile like this. We need to just check that nothing is being smuggled. So I'll ask before I do this. Is there anything in here that's of value?
Have
value? No, but have at it. Yeah,
Takes the
sure.
blade
Start.
and sort of starts piercing through in certain places, trying to get through. But of course, you're not
While
hiding
he's
anything.
doing that,
I'll do the thing where Dash is goes ow, but just kind of obviously like he's pretending,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
just to try.
you got me there.
And- to lean into that, then I'm going to say to the guard while kind of motioning quite obviously to Dash and go, we need more wood when people are from Palparoth because apparently it's too cold all the time. So that's
chuckles
more
like
or
a
less.
hearty chuckle from that. Yeah.
And I'm,
Yeah.
going to have that, I'm from a cold place, you're from a cold place, he's a wimp. We've experienced these, summer babies, this type of thing. And so they say,
you try wearing that heavy coat in Palparoth. See how you get on, eh?
Yeah. And I go, see what we have to deal with? If you think he talks a lot now, wait until he's super cold and he hasn't had a fire or something to eat.
He leans sort of towards Hatsu and Eos, and he just jams the sword through.
Through Hatsu and Eos? Harsh.
We're downsizing in these parts.
They haven't spoken yet. I'm going to make sure they're alive.
Yeah, he pulls back out the sword. And what do you two do?
I'm here to tell stories.
Yeah, they kind of put on our
I take out
performance of
my
sorts.
loot and say, this passes the time quite well. They read the stories, I play the music, we burn the wood, you get a nice fire going, a few drinks. Who doesn't
You
like a break
pull his
from the daily
attention.
toil?
Yeah, you suddenly pull his attention back from looking at Eos too close. He's like, oh yeah, you're a musician. Good, you'll do fine here.
He was a big hit in Dagtorp. He got the bar flowing. There was money coming in. It was actually, I think, we got, 2 rounds of free drinks the other night from that. That was fantastic.
That's no mean feat. And
On that note, where is the local watering hole? And I'm going to start gently playing a little tune and sort of walking the guard's elbow, so I'm kind of turning him away and walking him towards where I think the pub should be inside somewhere. So which way do we...
he starts to turn towards Hatsu to talk to him, and then you pull him away again. He walks towards the thing. Oh, there's a few in here, and he starts pointing to a couple different places and just throwing them random names. And he leans in and he just sort of looks. I think you do best. Go like north of the city a little bit, the town a little bit. It'll be better for you.
Wonderful.
He looks back towards
understood.
you guys and the cart, and then he kind of just looks around to Dash as he's talking.
So you've been super. What's your name? If you're allowed to give, I don't even know how things work here.
Bren.
I don't-
Bren. Just Bren. Yeah.
pleasure. Yeah, we tend to give just a little gift in the guards we come. I don't know if that's frowned upon, but we give it like a donation to the guards here, or is that cool, or is that like no? I don't know how that works.
Like a bribe?
No, just like donation for upkeep and towards wages and that, because we kind of do it at the gates in Balbaroth. I don't know how it is here. Dagtorp were like,
it's a little bit
well, they didn't
suspicious,
have guards,
if I'm honest.
so.
What's it for?
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying I will give it to you and give it a donation. I'm just asking if that's the done thing here, because they do it in Balbaroth, and
I think he's talking about taxes. We had to pay taxes
That's the one,
in some
taxes.
towns.
Tolls.
Oh, I see. No tolls. No, we're just making sure that everything is, on the level.
Cool.
Yeah. No need to pay the gods.
Gonna step in and say to Bren, obviously we're working on ways to keep entertained and keep coin flowing and keep fed, like we said, taverns, etc. His comedy act is awful. He keeps trying new material and it's always this bad. Always. He thinks it's funny. We're just so used to it, none of us laugh. But I'm glad you didn't entertain it.
No, we take bribes very seriously here. For a moment, that actually could have got you in trouble.
I thought you were going to say you take bribes here. Okay, you got me. God damn it.
You just hold on here for a moment. I'll be right back. And he heads over to the group of guards, and they're like pointing and.
I'm gonna start playing music and just sit on the side of the sled, just playing music.
Sure.
Theo starts leaning against the cart, just having a mild panic attack.
Just hyperventilating. And there's just fog all around her head from the mist. Sorry, you trying to say something again? Sorry, I think.
No.
No. Okay, sorry. I thought could. Yeah. No. So as they discuss something, they're like pointing to the cart and like up and down and stuff, and then they lean back and they kind of move in, and they're just come back out with like a little book. They're flicking through some stuff. They close the book. They go back in. They put the book down. They walk back over and they're like, "Yeah, come on in. The cart. You'll have to leave at one of the station areas, but besides that, everything's good to go."
Sweet. Thank you very much. I'll just shake his hand.
Shakes your hand back. You drop 1 gold in and he arrests you for bribery. Yeah. With that, you guys.
Gold, he definitely isn't arresting me.
With that, you guys enter in, and I suppose that would be where a good point to end our session for today, as you approach Broader Deer.
Well, do they know Lissa's going to rob the place blind?
Yeah, they hear you say that and arrest you.
They're already blind.
Not again. She's
like
going to rob them to death.
I always think that. We're going to end our session there. But there is a little more to be done before the session completely closes.
Eos looks specifically towards the sky.
In another part of the Isles.
Oh.
Deep within the walls of Verdoir. Madriana rested, equipped. She says goodbye to her mother. There's this trepidation, a pull she doesn't want to let go as she says goodbye, but she does. And her and a group of hooded figures head to the streets of Verdoir, out through the main gates, down to a black ship, and they head off to the distance. They bypass the channel between Desolata and Arboris in search of something mythical, something that should be lost to time, forgotten to time. It's something that the Archon thinks that he has found. But we'll find out a little bit more about that in the future. For now, thank you all for the subs, gifted subs, hype train, incredible amount of community appreciation today for just absolutely being there and taking us through one heck of a journey. We love it. I love these RP sessions that are really heavy. First of all, easier for DM.
get to sit here and just enjoy my friends being awesome.
Isn't that like all our sessions, to be fair?
Yeah, but I don't have to roll in much dice, so I like that. But the other side of it is that we appreciate that all of you who have been on the journey with us so far. I think we have 1 or 2 sessions left before we reach the holidays, but we are very aware that we are leaving you high and dry over the 2-week period. So I believe we're setting something up in terms of reruns and trying to help people catch up and giving people space to catch up. Also giving us space to see our families and spend times with our loved ones and, just catch up a little bit on our personal lives. So we appreciate it.
Convince all of them to play D&D.
That's it. But we do really appreciate it, and we're really excited for the downtime, but really excited to come back fresh as well. So we have 2 more sessions left. Who knows where they'll be by then, but I'm really excited to find out. But for now, thank you so much for being with us. Podcast listeners, thank you for joining us as always. We really appreciate it. And for those watching on YouTube, there will be a supplementary show uploading shortly. And then for those of you on Twitch, we will continue into our post show. I shall not be there, but hopefully we're joined by the 4 here, and we will be ready to answer your questions. As Rory put in chat there, if you've got a question, type !question, put it in chat, and we will do our best to answer. In the meantime, thank you all so much for joining us. We bid you adieu.
Or don't.
Or don't. How dare you. BRB. Thank you so much.